Hi, everybody. Welcome to FNS Wrestling Podcast, episode 253. Back down in the basement, talk another week of professional wrestling. I'm your host. My super tired-looking co-host is across the table from me, happens to also be my teenage son. So we're going to talk about Dynamite, NXT, Raw. We'll preview the AEW pay-per-view. That name is escaping me. Double or Nothing?
Yeah.
Nailed it. We'll make predictions and preview that, give you our certainty scores for that.
Oh, shoot, yeah.
We'll do that. We'll get that done, don't worry.
Trivia. No, it's done.
Trivia, I think it's flipping to you, trivializing me.
Oh, yeah,
to make up a word. And anyways, so you can timestamp or use timestamps. They're available to you because we're going to talk about things. So I held off talking to you about your evening last night because I figured I would do it here in public. You had prom last night, correct?
Yeah.
You are a grade 12 student, or as our American listeners would call it, a senior. So you had prom, you had fun?
Yeah, it was cool.
Good, I'm glad.
It was good for a while, and then immediately after all the food and awards were done, most people left surprisingly early.
So how was the food?
I assume because everyone wanted to drink or whatever. It was solid for the most part.
What was it? Two kinds of pasta?
Two kinds of pasta.
It's
there's
the same
just
as one
of
I
those pizzas where it's like they're cut into squares, so it's like one of those big party pizzas.
Yeah.
There were like small patties of buns, and you could put crap on them. There was fries, and there was actually gravy and cheese curds, so you could make a poutine.
Oh, that's cool. That's different.
There's a bunch of crap though. It was solid.
So you looked great in your blue suit and brown shoes, and it was the first time you've ever worn a belt, which I thought was pretty fun.
Or a suit of any kind.
How did you enjoy tucking in a shirt? Not fun, right?
I tried not to go pee, and then I did within the first half hour, and never went back to the bathroom. I had to go to the bathroom for a while.
You should be able to go without unbelting, no?
I just didn't want to do the whole thing.
And despite me never tying a tie, because I don't wear ties, I tied a mean tie for you. I'm good at tying ties, despite never doing it.
Mother, less so.
Less so. It's not easy. I can't do it on someone else. I had to do it on myself. So, yeah, we got a bunch of pictures reluctantly of you. I should put some into the podcast, maybe?
Yeah, all right. I took a bunch there with certain people.
Oh, that's fun. Mm-hmm. And then you brought a bunch of meatheads back here.
Yeah, we were playing on this board game Caleb had called Deception. It was like, it is reminiscent of Clue.
Okay.
But it's like different, and it's kind of cool. If we could find it, I think you'd like it.
I like board games.
It's kind of like Clue, but I don't know if better, but like feels a little more advanced.
So you brought like half a dozen or so people back here? Maybe a couple more? I forget.
Like 2, 4, like maybe 6 others. I think there were 7 total. Maybe 8 of us total plus me.
Yeah, and you were, I think they left at what, 2 a.m.-ish?
Yeah, that was mom's out time, which is fair.
Yeah, that was fair. So it sounds like you had a good time, which is great.
It was good, yeah.
Because I know you weren't sold on going out at one point, but you only get to do it once, right? You don't want to look back in 15 years and be like, I should have gone to prom.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you had a good time. I have a friend on the inside who was there, obviously, and she was letting me know that it looked like you were having a blast. And you got a picture with her, which was nice because she's known you since you were born. So for her,
I'm loudest because that's your fault.
Oh yeah, you won an award.
I'm loudest.
Your mother. I said that. I posted it in my work group chat and said like, with such shy, quiet parents, it's very surprising that you won that award. So that's cool.
Like some people were like, I don't know how I got it, and I was like, if you know, you know.
Yeah, once you get comfortable, you are not quiet. You might be quiet at first, but eventually you're not.
Yeah,
which is good.
Like it was funny. The dude operating the photo booth even said that I didn't seem like I seemed quiet. I was like,
yeah, you've got to get to know you first. Once you're comfortable, then which is good because you do a podcast every week. So if you were really quiet, it would be tough. Although sometimes in banter, I want to strangle you because you're so quiet.
That's fair.
Like I'll have to go and jack your thing up a little bit. No pun intended. What else is going on? Your brother starts playoffs for provincials today. He has 3 games this weekend. He got moved up to the top. I think I probably mentioned it last week, the top level in Ontario. So the games are going to be super tough, but it's a real honor for him and his team to be up at that level. So we'll see how they compete against the best of the best in this area. So it should be fun for us. Yeah, and I don't know what else. It was funny because you were like texting me at prom last night, like, yeah, they're talking about using the pool. Well,
I was like,
this has been the coldest spring and rainiest spring I can remember. So it's like 7 degrees and raining, and I haven't been heating the pool.
Probably the worst prom weather we could have had.
Unbelievable. I felt bad. I was saying it to my classes during the day. Like I felt bad for you because like it was raining and miserable all day for prom.
Yeah.
And at least like the poorer girls, because some of them have got like spray tans and have makeup and have dresses that can't really get wet.
Heels.
And wearing heels in the wet, so it was rough. But I forget where I was going with that.
I got some rain bad.
Oh, yeah. So the pool is super cold. Normally, we have it open for what's called up here May 2-4 weekend. Like, that's my thing. We open the pool early, end of April, but I don't heat it until, like, late May so that it's ready to go when I want to.
We're talking about we're not heating anything because we're not heating the house.
Not heating the house, just using the fireplace, which the cat is super happy about.
Yeah,
because that's her
she
favorite.
doesn't care.
Normally, the fire is done for weeks.
We would not need it right now
by this point.
In an ideal world.
The universe has decided that we are just not getting summer, it looks like, or spring. Spring is just super long. So
spring's super long, summer's not.
Winter was crazy harsh.
Yeah, but like not in that first 2, because I remember December being surprisingly warm.
December was fine, and then January and February we got absolutely pummeled.
Yeah, because that was like the power outage, that was like snow days and whatever.
And then spring has been cold and wet, and just like a few days of like nice warm weather, but very few, I would say. So
not when we need it.
I'm hoping the payoff is summer is like stupid hot and beautiful. Because as a pool owner, I'm all for like 35-degree heat.
And people can come
Celsius
here when we graduate.
every day. Yeah, you can do that then.
That's hope, at least.
But anyways, you slept in today because nobody goes to school after the day after prom. Yeah. Well, nobody really does. Grade 12s. Other grades do. Although we let your brother sleep in too.
I noticed.
Just because he was probably up late with you guys. Or hearing you guys.
A little bit, yeah.
And I don't think his period 1 teacher was there. So there was nothing pressing if he's caught up, right? It's one of those situations. Yeah. So let him sleep in because he's got a big game coming up in a couple hours. So he's hopefully well rested. Anyways. I say we get into talking about wrestling, unless you have anything else to banter about.
No.
All right, let's do it. First segment, as you know, talking about some of the week's news and rumors. First item I have for you is, I know there's one you really want to talk about, so I won't take that from you.
Yeah.
So I'll go to MLW. We don't really talk about it much.
Speaking of things we really want to talk about.
Right. I haven't checked in. I did, but it's like one of their recent pay-per-views they posted. I only got through a few minutes. I don't know
what it is about them, but every time I see clips of them, I'm just like, they suck.
There's something about it, too, that does not grab me. I don't know. If maybe they're in like a downswing. I don't know.
I don't think so, because I feel like I felt this way about them for at least this decade.
I know, true. I liked it for a bit.
I think that was
Fatu was there.
That was like 2010s, though, like, or like maybe early 2021 or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. But like, just I see them, I'm just like, no.
So they are expected to undergo a roster refresh, as it was phrased. I don't
even know what the roster is, like who is actually signed to them, because I feel like a lot of people go in.
Janai Kai, who's one of the big female talents, I think she's been champion for quite a while, and kind of has
not anymore. I know it's someone else.
Really unique look and whatever. She's going to be gone.
No.
Apparently, they're going to be running fewer events.
Oh no.
So the thought is that, I mean, this might seem counterintuitive, but they need to bring in bigger names, right? So if you're running fewer events, then maybe you can get indie people to come in.
Kind of like how MMLP works, right?
Yeah, I guess that would kind of be the formula.
Yeah.
So that's the thought. Fewer events, maybe bring in bigger talent to get more profile, I guess. I don't know.
I don't know. I can't place my finger on what I don't like about them, but it just feels like lowbrow. And like, I mean, one of the big factions is the Rogue Horseman, where it's, get ready for this, C.W. Anderson. Yeah, that's C.W. Anderson.
I know.
Brock Anderson, the least interesting person I've ever seen on AEW television ever.
I know.
Some dude I don't remember the name of, and bald Bobby Fish.
Bomai Fight Club was cool for a while too.
And like they had MJF. They used to have Swerve and Lucha Bros and Fatu.
What's the guy out of Bomai that I like? Is it
Alex Kane?
Yeah, kind of.
And they have Riddle. Riddle's awesome, but like,
yeah,
IRL he's not reliable, so I don't necessarily trust him as.
So yeah, I don't know. I would love to love another wrestling company. I don't exactly have tons of time, but
I don't need to love another. No,
and you won't.
I won't. I'm fine.
I know. You go ahead with your big first one.
So big news with shows coming to venues is that WrestleMania is being moved.
That's it. We're doing this gimmick again. Yeah. It's Vegas.
And apparently they're coming back to Vegas again, all because of the great profits they made this year.
Yeah.
The great.
You know how I love when they announce that they've gouged you more than ever, right? When they're like,
they want to do it again.
This is the largest gate, and people are like, woohoo!
And people are already calling it like 2 more nights of Travis Scott.
Yes, of course.
Night 3 and 4. I was like, yeah, it's.
Apparently, plans are to frequently be in Vegas for Mania.
I hate that, because not even that it's Vegas. I mean, yes, that it's Vegas, because gross. But I don't like the idea of any show being.
I feel like we could move to the point where everyone is there, and that's just like.
That's where they are now.
When they're pointing to the sign, they talk about like they're heading to Vegas. You know,
right? I don't like that. It's like Like, I just don't like that it's gonna become tied there. It's like if they were to go to Saudi. If Mania was in Saudi, you'd have to watch that, yeah.
Would I?
I mean, if it was like this year, no.
We've just set the precedent of not watching a WWE
We
PLE.
have, yeah. Well, it's been 6. We didn't watch a couple last year, too.
And any Saudi ones.
Any Saudi ones, that too. But like, yeah, I just don't like when pay-per-views are in the same arena a lot when they don't have to be. Like Double or Nothing in Vegas, I kind of like because it's like themed around that, and that makes sense.
That's kind of the point.
But like All Out in Chicago, I don't love. Segue, see,
I planned it out. Go ahead, right into
is that they are not moving into Chicago this year because
where are they moving it?
They announced recently. Remember, they're doing the residency in Chicago for a bit, so like they're doing. So I guess that's enough wrestling in Chicago, which is fair.
Where could they move it that would benefit us?
And yeah, the Monday morning, I've like lost my crap because they're coming back to our neck of the woods.
Yeah, I got text from you while I'm trying to do my job.
All Out's coming to Toronto, which I didn't expect at all. I didn't expect we get another pay-per-view for a bit, let alone the one that never leaves Chicago.
What do you mean they consulted us?
I guess, right?
As the biggest supporters.
I told you CM Punk and his peeps can suck it.
So, yeah, that's great for us. I'm gonna try and grab.
I'll be fresh into uni, but you know.
I'm gonna try and grab tickets as long as it's not crazy.
Yeah. I don't really care where we are because it'll be in the same. Even the seats we had at Forbidden Door, I wasn't mad about it. I was
Scotia? No, they were fine.
Yeah,
Scotia's not terrible.
It's there again, right? So it is at Scotia, which is good.
Yes.
I'm happy they're coming back.
Me too. And
it should be great. And then I was saying to you, as if they're not going to have Christian and Edge teaming up now.
Feels like it, right?
Which is fine.
Which we always kind of expected, anyways.
That'll get a big pop. So that'll be cool.
It will. Light news week because I'm going to talk about Scorpio Sky, who we both kind of like.
I kind of like him.
So he's commented on his extended absence from TV, basically saying
I feel like he like returns and then leaves again. It's just like it keeps happening.
And he said he is healthy, has been for a long time. Hints that there might be bad blood with somebody there. I don't know who he was referring to.
I feel like he's probably gonna get Ricky Starked.
Or is this part of some angle? I don't feel like it is because he's not important. Because
Ricky Starks was fine,
right?
And no offense to Scorp, if they're gonna leave Ricky Starks on the sidelines, I don't think there's much hope for Scorp.
And I like him. He's tried to protect the company for a long time, but now he's going to say what he wants to say, sort of thing. But like, we both like him, but haven't missed him at all since he's been gone.
He seems like a guy that belongs on ROH or someone that could go. I don't know, like TNA. Even like he's not bad, but he's not very interesting.
And their roster is massive. There's already guys that don't get on that are more important.
No like it sucks that people like him keep getting disgruntled, like him and Starks and Phoenix and whatever. But no offense to Scorp, Starks has like a lot of charisma, and I think he's pretty entertaining sometimes. And Phoenix
he's way younger.
And he's younger, and Phoenix is absurd.
Yeah.
So and Penta also is like, and if they're not getting on, then you know what I mean.
And if they're gonna keep hiring all these people all the time, like you have to assume somebody's
like we
just
be took in Kevin Knight, who's super interesting and young, and we have Speedball, who's been getting on TV consistently. Good for him.
Yeah.
But like Speedball, there's so much more upside to him than Scorp, I think. And Scorp, like I feel like he could maybe go to somewhere like TNA or honestly MLW maybe. But like I say that and it sounds weird because I don't think I ever see anyone go to MLW other than recently, I guess like Riddle and Dijak. Mm-hmm. But even then, it's like I feel like saying that even is weird.
So you did 2 in a row. I'm going to transition into one that's sort of the flip side of that argument, which is Josh Alexander revealing why he chose AEW over WWE.
I did see that there was the stand and deliver pitch for him, yeah.
And he says that Tony Khan actually cares about his employees and that you are treated less like a commodity in AEW than, I don't know if he specifically named WWE, but let's be honest, that's the only other company I imagine he would have been negotiating with.
Other than TNA.
So it's nice to hear as people who like AEW and sort of hope that that's the case, that although maybe caring gets him into some issues sometimes along the way, but it's nice that it's not just a...
But I remember seeing some video of Sabu, rest in peace, talking about AEW. Like he was even saying that like even if whether he likes the product or not, that like Tony Khan is good for pro wrestling because he does actually care about it and like likes it and wants to do it. So like I think regardless of how great AEW always tends to be or not, it's still good. It's good that he cares and isn't viewing it as sports entertainment and being out of touch and old.
As a person who is generally on the side of workers in almost every situation, I like to hear that the workers are being treated fairly and reasonably by the management and ownership.
And I mean, I'm sure some will talk about Starks and Lucha Bros and whatever, but the part of the thing with Lucha Bros wasn't that they were talking to WWE. Mm-hmm. So I think part of them being off TV for so long was honestly on them. Mm-hmm. And
yeah, they're under contract and sort of still negotiating.
Right, because that was
somewhere else.
They were negotiating way before they got actually let
out. And regardless
right?
of how good a guy TK may or may not be, that would be a stopping point for me.
I think that's totally fair, which sucks because we like them. But I honestly wonder what would have happened, because remember they were supposed to win the trios house with Pac, and so they didn't. Then we got Pac-Pool Combat Club, which led to Death Riders. So like, I can't imagine Lucha Bros would have been surrogate Death Riders, or like, you know what I mean?
No, made my Death Triangle shirt obsolete too.
Yeah,
my favorite shirt.
It just seems weird. Like, I wonder what would have happened there, or if Pac wouldn't have been in Death Riders, but he seemed. Then I don't know why else. It just seems weird, you know.
I've already forgotten Pac's in Death Riders. His poor injury, poor guy.
I know. I already forgot about him too.
I only have one more after.
Last one I had to continue on the Tony Khan train is that he's interested in bringing women's tag titles. No.
Interesting.
No.
Jack says no.
No, because we don't need them. Their division, I think, at best, it would be as in depth as WWE's right now.
Okay.
Which is not a compliment. Like, I don't think. I genuinely like Sky Blue, Julia Hart, Megan Bain, and Penelope Ford.
I know.
Anna Jane and Harley Cameron.
I know.
Like,
don't have the depth for it.
Let's not.
No.
And I also don't want to hear Monet or anyone else go for the women's tag titles.
Oh my God.
So
comes up later again. Last thing I had, I was a little surprised just because I kind of felt like he might be a lifer there. Is I was telling you, Ace Austin apparently departing TNA Wrestling.
I wonder what that's going to mean for Chris Bay.
Because he's really good in ring, I think, but his style, I don't know if it works in WWE. His promos have never
maybe
really.
NXT.
His promos that's true, have never really ascended beyond like okay. And I quite like him. So apparently his contract expired. TNA did attempt to renegotiate, but agreement could not be made. So he becomes a free agent that they're trying to say like people are going to want, but I'm not convinced.
I don't think he goes to AEW.
And I'm as a person who likes him, and I'm like, he just feels like a perfect fit.
I agree. I like if he were getting released from NXT, I would say he should go to TNA, because that's typically, I feel like, our byword for people who are like solid but not amazing and like don't have a high.
Yeah, and the way I would run TNA, obviously I don't know anything about anything, but I would have had him have been a champion already, just because it's one of your own, and you're not just bringing in a guy from somewhere else. Yeah, and you're not just bringing in a guy from somewhere else. Like, you can really try and make your own star, which may not, and that might not be the best move financially. Which is kind of what they've done with Hendry. But yeah, so I kind of feel like they missed the boat a little bit with him.
Yeah.
He is pretty fun to watch. I do hope Chris Bay recovers and can still do what he needs to do. They were a pretty awesome tag team, to be honest. But
yeah, I hope they stick together, because if they go somewhere together, then that's a little more.
Yeah,
like they could easily be the new Fraxium if you brought them in NXT, because
he probably would fit in NXT best.
If you don't have Fraxium, I'm not watching.
Right,
which I'm not.
You're not, unless you happen to be in the room when I'm watching.
Yeah.
All right, I think that's it for news. Yeah. We'll get into our in-depth review of the week, and that is taking a look at the show we just finished watching, full disclosure. That is AEW Dynamite. So Dynamite this week, I was telling you when we finished it, like just looking back at my notes as I scroll through, I was like, I honestly went to someone's review to see if I had missed anything, because... And I guess it's because they were long segments in a match.
Just flown by, I guess.
It was like I have way fewer notes because I don't summarize anything anymore. I just my opinions, because you do that heavy lifting for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I don't know what that means.
First hour was mostly two things, which was good.
Yeah, two really good things. So talk about that first.
Yeah. So we kicked off with the exact thing I've been asking for,
true.
which was Ospreay and Hangman face to face. Like
I think we should have time for one more face to face.
And they did. So credit to them. They listened to me.
They listened to us about coming to Toronto.
Right?
We're basically, I mean, we're breaking news here. We're consultants.
We are.
You see how many listeners and viewers we have, so
they're paying attention.
Clearly.
We got our finger on the pulse. But no, thankfully they did actually give me exactly what I wanted.
They did.
Because we had that great one where Ospreay spoke the other week, and then they had the tag match last week, which was really good. But then this is like, now they're both speaking, which is swell.
It is.
Ospreay asked Paige if he still drinks, which is not a dig. He actually has beers for them.
He does.
And so he wants to petition Tony Khan to make them the main event on Sunday, which I think was made official. So that's
makes sense.
It does. The only reason I don't agree with it is because I think it's like he literally mentions it's hard to follow Anarchy in the Arena. I feel like that is just such a spectacle that goes on last. But if there's one match that should go on last, it's this. And thankfully, since I don't work late, we could watch it live, and I don't have to avoid spoilers.
True.
Because
let's do that.
I mean, as I'll talk about, if there's one match I don't want spoiled, it's this one, because not only it's huge, it feels big, it's two guys that level up, but also like coin toss at the result of this. Really.
I agree, and it should be a match of the year contender.
I agree. And I'll talk about more after this, but like it just looks incredible. But yeah, and he said he must be insane to follow Anarchy in the Arena and all the amazing wrestling, minus the Dustin Rhodes match. He said not only is the winner that's going to win the Owen Hart Cup, but you go on All in Texas, and they're the one to bring back the AEW title. He said he really wants this because he's done everything the right way, and he talked about leaving England on Tuesday every week, and he takes a 7-hour, sometimes 15-hour flight every week, and he's jet lagged all the time. He gets backstage, puts on his crime-fighting pants, and says ring the bell. He wants to wear the bell with pride and bring it back to his kid. He said he also talks about Forbidden Door being in London on August 24th, and he wants to bring it there as that's 30 minutes from his home. He said he grew up in front of them. He wants to wear in front of them and thank them for the support. And every Tuesday when he flies over there, he leaves the 6-year-old at home and wants nothing more than come back and be looked at as a champion. He understands how much Hangman wants it, but he wants it a bit more. Hangman says that's the difference between them, and he knows the feelings he's lived it, and there's no prize grander than the AEW World title, and he knows Will knows that. He says for Will it could be a professional accomplishment, but he said it would be the biggest professional accomplishment that either of them could dream of having, and it's personal for him. He doesn't want the opportunity, he needs it. He said he wasted 2 years of his life because it was filled with sorrow, grief, and hate. He said the one thing he won in the last 2 years brought him nothing but the same. He said the worst of it was that when he came home, his son sat on the floor playing with toys, and he was staring out the window looking for someone that was never coming back. He said he needs this. He needs his wife to not see pity. He needs his kids to look up to him and know they have the father they deserve. He said he needs the fans to support him when he deserved it the least, to know that he can be the man that he can be. He said he needs it for himself to know that there's a light at the end of the 2-year tunnel of hell. He wants Ospreay to know he was wrong when he claimed that it was too late for Paige. Ospreay wonders what he was planning on doing about it. Asked if he would wrap a chair around his skull like he did with Swerve, or beat him so bad he has to retire like Daniels. He said he's been down that path and it took a lot of him to come back. He talked about how badly he's lost sometimes, and he's lost without using the referee to his advantage. He's lost without whining in the back. He said if he lost, he at least won the fans' respect and the fans' trust. And Hangman asked if Ospreay has what it takes to beat Moxley, and Ospreay says he doesn't know because he's faced him before and he's lost. And he said Paige knows that Paige knows what it will take to win. He wants Paige to bring that fire because if he can beat Hangman, he can beat Moxley. There's been a cowboy who's been obsessed with Swerve, or he has been, sorry. And he talked about how the entire year changed Paige. He understands it being a couple months, but it took him an entire year being obsessed with that.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone in the back lost respect for him. He says he's the guy who shows up and does his best. He's beaten MJF, Danielson, Okada, Omega, Jericho. He's proved everybody wrong. He said he's the best in the effing world, but he didn't censor himself.
He did not.
Ospreay chants after that. He said when the bell rings, anything can happen. He said if it's Paige, he's happy for him, and he'll have his back against Seth Rollins, and he hopes Paige will do the same. They have a drink, and then he says he'll meet Hangman in the desert, and he's calling him up for a shootout.
Yeah, this is fantastic and sort of like a masterclass in how you do two babyface thing, right? So both of them did what we keep saying they need to do for other people in this company, and that's add depth, right? Like you get more about Ospreay being a family man, and the fact that he travels back and forth every week is pretty crazy to think about.
Yeah, the fact that he's actually doing that is insane.
And then Hangman, he's also talking about his family, but sticking to storyline stuff that happened. Like he kind of lost his way in his obsession with Swerve, right? And he's trying to get past that and get back on track. I thought Ospreay's intensity was awesome, and he's that ideal babyface, right? Like he can kind of do it all now. The character work and speaking were not his strength.
Gets so fired up at the end, yeah.
And then Hangman's a nice kind of, I like the contrast too of it's like for you it's like professional accomplishment, and for me it's super personal, so that there's
I like the distinguishment,
a difference between the motivations. Mm-hmm. And the performance of both of them just makes the Owen Hart tournament and the title feel really important, except it's really easy to forget about Moxley here, right?
It is. But I like that they still brought that in at the end too. And
I like that Ospreay fully announces that he's going to take the high road in the match, and we're kind of left wondering if Paige is going to, because he is that kind of conflicted guy who we're not fully sure people's blood and whatnot. Yeah. So there's still like a non-zero chance that he's going to be honorable
if it's
in
that
the match.
personal and he's that desperate, right?
And I also like the idea that Ospreay, he needs Page to be at his best because Page has beaten Mox before and Ospreay hasn't. So it's like, if I can beat you at your best,
like
that gives me confidence that I can beat Mox as well. So yeah, this was, and you know me, I'm not a big fan of like super long promos at the beginning of shows, but this was fantastic. I was captivated by both the whole time.
Yeah.
So already like a segment of the year contender, and hopefully
I put on my list.
Followed up with a match of the year contender too.
I agree. It was exactly what I'd asked for, and it was worth it. I thought it was great to start us off. I think they were both great, but I think this was easily one of the best promos of Hangman's career, especially. Just I thought the emotion and depth he showed in his impassioned speech was like genuinely captivating to me, and I was a little taken aback. I felt his delivery was so strong. Like you can hear him like breaking a little bit in some of the things he said, and it felt really real. And I liked that, like you said, he kept it within storyline, but it still felt like basically just
he
pulled from reality,
like his real life and storyline stuff. He blurred the lines for you, which I love.
Which is what you like, right? Yes. Yeah, you like to see that. And I kind of got chills with it. Like I thought he was absolutely incredible. It was just like, it was so impassioned. It was amazing babyface promo, and just it felt real. It's kind of like that Sami Zayn, Eddie Kingston esque thing we like to see, and it's like it reminded me of peak Hangman. It was peak Hangman, because I think it deserves to be considered as such. And I even noticed like Ospreay's facial expressions as Hangman was going on this whole tirade, and you can see Ospreay kind of taken aback too. Like it means that much to Hangman, which I thought was amazing. And no shade to Ospreay either. I thought he was fantastic and putting himself over as like not only the family guy but the company guy who's been doing all the press and like advertisements and all the supporting work that Hangman hasn't done in his crusade against Swerve lately. And he's been doing everything right, and he's going to. So I like that he put himself over as that, and like it's that professional bit for him where he's distinguishing it versus the personal thing for Hangman, which also leads, because if Ospreay's obsessed with that as a professional accomplishment, obviously he's not going to cheat. But if it's personal for Hangman, he might reach that desperation again, right? And I liked that he also showed some, like, kind of like Hangman used to do. Ospreay had some doubt in himself when talking about beating Moxley, because he hasn't, and he turned that into putting Hangman over, which I thought was really smart. And he was right calling Hangman out for taking his eye off the ball. And I like that he's not like, he's calling him out for it, but not necessarily giving him shit for it.
No,
if that makes sense.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And so I really like that too. And he ends with that trademark, like the passion and calmness he always has, which never comes off as braggadocious, but like he knows he's great.
He believes in himself. He knows it.
Yeah. And so I love that he also supports if Hangman wins, because he wants the belt back regardless, right? So it's just great, like you said, strong babyface stuff.
Yes.
And both these guys felt real. The passion from both ends makes it feel really huge, the tournament and the title, and the match and everything.
Yeah, I think you're right, Ospreay, because he did come across as that company guy, and as the company guy, you just made me think about it. He's kind of like, if I lose, then I'll at least support you, because it's better for the company if you're the champ and not Moxley. If we take the belt
from the Death Riders, right? So I like that too. And both these guys felt real. They both have a really strong case to win, so it's probably one of the hardest matches to call in a while for me. Like, I think the build to this has been superb. I think the tournament's been really good. And then the build just between these two has been great. I think the segment was pretty perfect. I'm not sure where to go. I personally lean towards Hangman, just because, like, not to spoil picks or anything, but we've been saying it, just because I feel personally like there's a better story to do it with Hangman there, because he's been AEW's guy, and I think it would be a perfect redemption to like his heel run over the last year or so. Because I mean, 2023 he had the feud with Mox, which makes sense now, and then he had the feud with Swerve, and then that led into the heel run. And so I don't know, I feel like Hangman works a little better. I would like it to be Ospreay.
Ospreay's like the undeniable, he will be the face of this company at some point, and why not now? Like, you know what I mean? There's that as well.
There is that, and I think also, or Forbidden Door being in London is also lends that.
Yes,
there is that, and that's why. And I feel I'm been of the opinion I would have had Ospreay win it at All In last year. I mean, the Danielson moment was perfect, and I wouldn't change that in hindsight. But heading into that, before we had the whole Danielson final run, I was very of the opinion that we should have done with Ospreay, and like it should be his one, whatever. So I'm all for Ospreay winning the title, but I've always been a Hangman guy.
And don't you think that Ospreay is just kind of different in the world of wrestling, where I don't know why I feel this way, 'cause it's not like I know him or anything, but like he's okay with whatever. Like, he's confident in, like, I know I'm going to get my shot. I'm not not politicking, as they say, you know what I mean? Just like, if he's just builds great stories, has great matches, knows he's going to get his turn, and is patient, I feel like.
That's another thing, too, is that I could see him waiting in service of a better story with Hangman, which I personally think we should do. And that even brings me to the point last year when he faced Swerve at Forbidden Door just to lose to Swerve so that people would shut up about Ospreay taking the belt from Swerve, which I think is a great move. And so I could see Ospreay being okay with that. And I could also understand him wanting to have the belt in London, and I think that would be great. But at the same time, I would much prefer Hangman just because,
even though he just jumped off the table there.
Yeah, just because, like, I've loved following Hangman's journey. I think, like, much like the Bloodline saga was such a great thing for WWE at that time when it didn't suck.
Yeah, when it was awesome.
When it was great,
it was must-watch TV for a while.
Following Hangman's journey just in general, on the whole, has been so great with the journey against the feud against the Elite. And I feel like there's a bit of a downswing, but then that Blackpool Elite feud was really fun. And then obviously the Swerve period has been
legendary.
Right. And so I think it would just, especially with this year of kind of losing himself, I think the comeback here would be, to me, it's a little more than Ospreay. And like I feel like you said, is inevitable. And to me, Hangman's redemption, the timing's perfect. And for me, Ospreay, the timing is good, like I said, with London Forbidden Door, but it's not necessary.
The Hangman redemption arc seems...
Especially because I'm pretty sure they're going back to London with All In next year. Yeah. Would it suck to wait another year? Kinda, but we can. With Hangman, I think it needs to be now. And also, I think whoever beats Moxley at All In is probably who will see it all out. And I would like to see Hangman as champion.
Yeah, should be an awesome match. And again, not knowing who's going to win adds to that for sure.
I mean, I think we already mentioned it, but it's safe to say that this is my lowest certainty score.
For sure. It will be.
Because I can't, like, even, I'm still tossing it about in my mind, even though I feel like I'm there. But, you know. Anyways, then we get Mox backstage, but it's basically part of his entrance. He says tensions are rising, spoils will go to those who embrace the anarchy.
It was them walking into the building, right?
Because now the Death Riders entrance gets longer and longer, which I think is funny because it doesn't feel like over the top and self-indulgent like Cody and his dog and Arn Anderson.
Jey Uso, where they're literally like, just run it back, do it again.
Yeah, like you can't complain about this when Jey Uso is playing his theme song
twice,
14 times on one show. So he makes the entrance because it's Mox and the Bucks taking on Swerve, Joe, and Hobbs in one of those all-star matches they like to label them. And the Bucks have like tights with graphics again. Like it looks like old Bucks. I was telling you it's reminiscent of 2021 era Bucks, which if you know me, that's peak Young Bucks.
You did enjoy that.
I mean, that's peak AEW, but that's peak Young Bucks. I want flamboyant douchebag Nick Jackson, and life is good. I just need him to start doing the Macho Man thing again.
Right.
Like he was the best. That was my favorite. Swerve had like a really smooth evasion into a super kick, or from a super kick from Nick that he does in like that backbreaker he does. Usually he'll go like catch the boot, go under the leg and hook up, but he like sidestepped the super kick or whatever and just really smooth in the backbreaker because he's got those unique.
He seems to find new ways to do things.
Yeah,
on a regular basis.
Yeah, I saw someone speaking of. Someone who does new things. I saw someone complaining about AR Fox versus Fletcher on Collision the other week, and like at least try to make it look real because Fox is doing the thing where like he pulls him and like rolls through into the cutter.
Yeah,
I was like, I love AR Fox.
Me too.
You can't even say that. Joe runs up for a suicide dive, gets cut off by a double super kick from the Bucks. Nick goes to then dive onto Joe, but Swerve comes in with the roll through flatliner. Swerve with a hot take in. He caught a hurricane from Nick, and he does that powerbomb left into the front slam, so he just did it from there, which I thought was really cool. Nick hit a rising knee in the corner, followed by a sliced bread from Matt, and a running basement knee from Nick to Swerve. So the Bucks with a combo there on Swerve for 2. Mox smashes Swerve in the corner with hilarious. The Bucks did the double Gamagiri, so that was clean. Bucks with risky business to Swerve for 2. Joe gets a hot tag flurry. Swerve and Joe hit a flurry to Matt in the corner. Hobbs the frog splash from the top for 2, but Mox breaks the pin. Bucks double super kick Swerve, then DDT Hobbs, super kick Joe, but he clotheslines them both. Mox with a paradigm shift to Joe, house call to Mox, Swerve stomp to the floor onto the Bucks, so a lot of stuff there. Mox went for the paradigm shift on Hobbs, but Hobbs counters, hits a spinebuster, one for Matt as well, then one to Nick, on to Matt. Bucks hit a tandem superplex to Swerve into an EVP trigger attempt, but he ducks it. Joe locks Nick in the Kikina clutch, Swerve rolls up Matt, and they get the win. Mox and the Bucks attack after the bell. Death Riders join in. Shibata comes down as well. Shafir low blows Shibata. Willow comes down to spear Shafir, not a pound. They miscalled that.
Right.
Because, flapjacks and whatnot, or flatliners. Omega's music hits. He comes down even the odds. Snapdragons for Claudio and Yuta. Snapdragon and a V-trigger to Matt. Table gets set up at ringside. He tries to one-wing an Angel. Matt off the apron through the table. Claudio makes a save. The heels retreat. And Joe says they will fight them before the night is done.
And they made good on that. Excellent match. For me, Swerve and the Bucks really stood out here. Like, Swerve seemed to be in the ring a lot for his team. Joe, not so much.
Swerve and the Bucks seem to have really good chemistry, which I like because I feel like we're still teasing that Swerve Omega Bucks match at some point. Mm-hmm. And if that's the case, the chemistry there will be really great because Omega obviously knows them as well.
Joe was minimal. He did get a hot tag, and I think he looked really good once that happened. But yeah, this is what you get on Dynamite lately. We're back to sort of having these multi-man tags that are just nonstop action everywhere. Crowd super into it. I will say that I think the competitors in the Anarchy in the Arena touched way too much on this show, including
I agree.
Match, Aftermath, and then later.
I thought that this should have main evented, not only because I think it was the strongest match on the show, but also I think, does it not make more sense to just, one-shot it?
Yes.
I thought, the brawling here and then brawling later was unnecessary. I'm okay with them ending with the brawl, because I'll even say later, I like that that's kind of the go-home trope for Double or Nothing. It is kind of stupid, but it makes it feel like a go-home, and it's just kind of a fun way to end it before you have this big crazy match. It just works for me, right? But I would have liked it much better if this was the main event, so we could just kind of
roll it all out at once, because they can circle back around to it again, right?
I think that just would have felt more fluid, right?
Yeah.
Not even like we're getting too much, just making it feel more fluid.
Great match. The Aftermath, whatever, that's what they do, so I'm used to it.
Another great multi-man match. The first chunk of the show is kicking ass with this in the promo segment, because I really love that, and this was really good.
Yep.
Good guys involved, and the actors entertaining. I think Mox, oddly enough, worked pretty well with the Bucks, just because the Mox, because he's hard hitting, but he's a little more methodical lately.
He is,
and so I think him with the flashier Bucks,
kind
of complements each other well, and it kind of allows him to step back a little more, and it's a little more entertaining than just watching his style in the singles matches we've seen lately. Not to say he's bad, but I feel like working heel, or at least like this, has made Moxley a little less interesting in the ring, because it feels a little more like Roman Reigns.
I was going to make that comparison as soon as you said methodical.
Right?
Not quite to his level, but...
No, it's not as bad as Roman. Or not as bad, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But anyways, overall action was great. I thought Swerve was really rolling. The Bucks were great. Joe, once he got in, like you said, was on fire. I didn't love that ended up in the roll-up.
Yeah.
But true. That was a small nitpick. I felt like we could have done something a little after that.
I think that's the contrast, because in the Anarchy in the Arena, it's going to be something insane to finish it,
that's
right?
True.
And so they went simple here.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what we'll have, because we've confirmed it's 6-on-6 with no Gabe Kidd, which is weird, but we'll talk about it.
I'm really curious the role of the women.
I agree. That was what I was going to say, is the women being there is interesting. I'm curious what spots will cook up, because last year we had Darby Allin lighting Jack Perry on fire and then getting hung by his ankles.
Right.
And was that the match where Jack Perry tried to hit him with the bus, right?
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So there's that too. And then there's also been the Elite against Moxley, actually, in 2023. They had that exploding super kick.
Yep.
I don't know. There's been a lot of crazy things. So I'm curious. These matches are always really fun.
Yeah.
I always really enjoy them.
Me too.
As someone who's not typically into the big...
And they don't do them all the time, so once a year is cool.
I like that it's a once a year thing, and then we get Blood and Guts, which is different enough.
Yep.
So then it feels... not overdone.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And I literally said I imagine there will be more stuff, since that's the go home trope. Obviously, we did get that there. Again, should have just been here after the match, but that's whatever. Then we get Hurt Singer interview by MJF's own girlfriend. He comes in this flashy black and gold suit. It's absolutely atrocious.
And he's mean to her every week, and it makes me laugh.
Oh, it makes me laugh so much. MVP in the Syndicate left, and he told her to get out. I don't remember exactly what he said, but it was really funny.
He just dismisses her.
It's funny in both ways. And I think I've said it before, because if you don't know, then it's just MJF being mean to this female interviewer who's done nothing wrong, right? So it's just classic MJF. But then if you do know, it's funnier that it's his real life girlfriend, which is obviously why I like it a lot. Then he spoke to Mark Sterling and the Hurt Syndicate's lawyer. He shook hands with that lawyer and then asked Mark Sterling if he had hand sanitizer.
Yeah,
that's really funny. So there was not a lot here, but MJF was really funny. So
it's weird.
I thought it was good value.
It's one segment in two locations, basically.
It is, right? It's weird. And him being an ass to his own girlfriend on national television will never not be funny to me.
Yeah.
I really enjoy it. Then we get his contract signing into the Hurt Syndicate. Because we didn't get a contract signing with the women like I thought we might. So this is the contract signing because that's what people do in the factions,
They do.
I would have loved. They should have contract signed Sami Zayn into the Bloodline because honorary or something, make him an official Uce. It sounds stupid, but I guarantee he would have made that work.
He would have.
MJF came out, or sorry, no, not yet. MVP says the special night because they're introducing the newest member of the syndicate. Then MJF came out in his goofy black and gold suit. It's quite the suit.
Should have worn that to prom.
Yeah, if I could have, that would have been insane. MJF said his mom said the most important day of your life is when you marry the love of your life. He said clearly that dumb bitch never joined the Hurt Syndicate. MVP told the fans to show respect to MJF a couple times because he was getting booed a lot.
He was.
And so MVP was like tripping back
a lot. It's
like
he was going extra heel, MVP was.
Yeah, it's weird because like they are heels, but people like them.
They're cool heels.
And we're kind of cheering MJF lately, but we still don't like him.
They're in some nether region.
Because like it just doesn't. It's very confusing at times. And I was gonna say because MJF's been heel. I was like, what did he do at the end of the year? Oh right, Adam Cole. Let's not.
Don't remind us.
MJ said it's a shame that this had to occur in a state that nobody knows exists. Oh, because they were in New Mexico, right? I think
that's
Albuquerque.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, one of my favorite lines was from Free Guy. He was talking about it was Antoine, like the dick guy who owns the video games too, and he was talking about instead of making a new IP, you make Free Guy 2 because it's like you would prefer KFC 2 instead of Albuquerque boiled turkey, and I thought Albuquerque boiled turkey is hilarious.
You would.
Anyways, Mark Sterling said the lawyers agreed that MJF would sign first, followed by the syndicate guys, and so that's what happens. Lashley thinks about it. He looks the contract over and he's talking to Shelton about something, so there's something that's up, I guess, and he signs it anyways. He said, MJF said it's the greatest moment of his life. Well, that's not true, because here's Dustin Rhodes. They have a mashup theme song. It's atrocious. I hate it. Like, because Sami Guevara.
Not a lot about Dustin Rhodes' presentation you're enjoying.
Face paint?
I guess. You've always been a sucker for face paint.
Yeah, but even then, that novelty wears off.
Oh, I flash back to you and your brother putting on face paint and going and wrestling in the trampoline. Oh.
I used to buy a lot of Jeff Hardy figures just for that.
Yeah,
that's
now true.
I don't really care. But no, their theme song mashup is horrible because Dustin Rhodes' theme song, ever since he's gotten AEW, it used to be a lot more derivative of it, but it's a Brain Stew ripoff.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
And remember, his initial theme was like straight ripoff.
Yes.
But now it's like the intro of his theme song is definitely a derivative of Gold Dust. If you listen to it, it's like that. The intro to Gold Dust theme. And so it's kind of like Gold Dust into Brain Stew, which I hate that. Now we have, because Sammy Guevara's got this cool rap theme by Montezi, I think his name is. I think he does Kevin Knight's theme too. So it's like this black guy doing, it's a rap song over top of now Brain Stew.
Right.
And like it's just the rap lyrics of Take Flight, which is Guevara's theme, over the knockoff Brain Stew. It's the worst kind of mashup where it doesn't work. So remember they did the Adam Cole MJF theme mashup, and that one's actually, I remember liking that one.
Did you make a note for your worst of?
I could actually.
Don't mean to sidetrack.
Maybe I'll do that as I'll do that when you talk about it. Just don't let me forget. But because remember they had the Cole MJF mashup, and I really like that because I thought that went well.
Yeah.
And because it was part of the story, so it's a little different. But this one, I had to talk about because I heard it, and I was just like,
you were angry in the moment.
Atrocious. I hate that they're a team. The Sons of Texas is stupid. It's dumb. Dustin Rhodes has 2 belts. That's stupid. That's dumb. I hate it. Andrew said they had no right to interrupt this Hurt Syndicate. Dustin told him to shut his mouth, and guess what? He's a stupid son of a bitch. I don't remember where he said that. He said it at some point.
He did.
Because he says it every week.
He does.
He said MJF doesn't have a strong work ethic. Wow. He hates MJF's guts and told MVP to watch for the snake in the grass. He said he and Sammy are day one guys, which doesn't sound right for both of them, but technically is true.
Right.
He said that 6 years ago, Double Nothing, they changed the wrestling landscape. I hope by they means AEW, because them personally...
I was wondering too, like you personally?
I mean, I do remember his match with Cody getting like a critical acclaim, but...
I do too. I think we liked it.
Sammy, no. It was pretty sports entertainment, so I don't remember, but... He said, or he talked about how they want more gold since they're undefeated as ROH tag champs and Dustin already has 2 belts somehow. They earned this title match. He dares the Hurt Syndicate to hurt them because they work around the clock with no off time. They have so much heart and work ethic. They faced the devil and kicked his teeth in because they are Christian probably.
It's almost like MVP had to come lean into being heel, and Dustin's like, we're baby faces. Hey, by the way, we're
like us.
Baby faces.
Like us.
Yeah.
And like he kept calling them day one guys. Like we're day one guys. Bet on us. We're day one guys. And I face the devil all these times, and I kick his teeth in every time. I punch the devil because I'm old, and I fight people because I fight the devil, and I kick his face.
His demons.
Right, like, I guess, is that why he has to mention it 15,000 different times?
I guess so.
This is solid. They definitely drew out the signing for Lashley a little long, but that I feel like that means that has to be our payoff. Is that
something in the contract?
There's something in the contract.
Because otherwise, like,
there's no point in doing that.
For me, this was like they found a way to just run back what the last 3 weeks have been, where it's like basically the exact same thing as Lashley giving the thumbs up or thumbs down, right? Yeah. It was the same thing.
I feel like that has to be the payoff.
And there better be, or else, because I was kind of annoyed by this.
Does that mean it's like there's something in the contract that benefits MJF that Lashley doesn't like?
Right.
Or there's some thing that MJF doesn't know about, but no, Sterling would have looked it over, right?
Yes.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, is there has to be? I assume it's like something Lashley didn't agree on because both lawyers have looked it over. So it can't be something that like MJF doesn't know about because that would make someone look stupid.
Right.
So I'm curious what it is. I don't quite understand. I groan every time Dustin comes on. I just can't. I hate it. I understand why he's on my TV repeatedly, and like I said, the theme song was horrible. He did his typical road travel battle-tested veteran shtick. He called him MJF a son of a bitch for the 10,000th time because that's his insult for everybody because, he's so gruff and hardcore. And he gets fired up and he's got passion, but and then man, does it blow.
Sammy just stands there and comes across as like...
He just seems like...
a sidekick.
He does seem like a sidekick, yeah, like just the lost puppy tagging along with Dustin. And no offense, the big passionate babyface thing does not work when I just saw a generational promo from Hangman. I'm sorry, it doesn't work. It's the same thing, like he's just, every promo he's like, oh, I'm such a fighting babyface, I'm the last of my kind, you're a son of a bitch, I fought the devil and kicked his teeth in. If he mentions the devil one more time, I'm gonna lose my mind.
Yeah, I didn't love this. I just felt like it was very similar to stuff they've done with Hurt Syndicate, and there better be some payoff to it. And then it got, bringing Dustin out doesn't make it any better. So this is where the show sort of took a nosedive for me in this part because I loved the first segment and match, and then this I was just kind of a little bit bored, frankly.
I'm super excited for the Double Nothing main event, but this is a bathroom break match if I've ever seen one.
For sure.
Actually, I might just take a nap. Then we get Okada in an interview with Renee, I think.
Yeah, he
talked about Double Nothing, the challenge from Speedball. He said, you don't call me out, I call you out. So he lays out the challenge for Speedball, so I guess we'll get a title match of Speedball and Okada. He said Renee said Speedball hasn't been pinned yet, and Okada said he's not worried about it, and he said, trust me. He came back and said again, no bitch, which I thought was weird. Mm-hmm. But yeah, not much here, just announces a match I'm looking forward to.
But I really like, even in this quick little thing, his just like superior attitude really came through. Like just the idea, and I know maybe you're going to people will say like it doesn't help Bailey, but this idea that Bailey's not on my level. I'm not sweating him at all. Like this is,
and that allows Bailey to like.
He's not even worthy of challenging me. I'll fight him because I want to fight him. He can't challenge. I thought that came through.
That's fair. I do like
really
that.
Well here.
Then we move on to Ricochet versus Anthony Bowens.
Kind of forgot about Bowens.
I did, yeah, a little bit. Notables, there's like inverted Samoan drop kind of looking thing from Bowens for 2, which is kind of cool. Ricochet is nailing Bowens with some strikes. Bowens counters the last one and hits his usual strike combo for 2, which usually follows up with the leg drop to the back of the neck, but he pinned him off the super kick here, but only 2 count. Bowens ducks Spirit Gun, hits the Arrival, the Molly Wop, which is that rolling elbow from the corner he does. But that knocks Ricochet out of the ring. The ref is distracted by Billy Gunn. I forget why.
I thought this made Billy Gunn look stupid because he distracts, unless, it's even in my notes, unless they're breadcrumbing a turn for Gunn.
They're breadcrumbing.
I don't understand why he gets the ref's attention here.
Or is he trying to tell the ref about the scissors, I guess?
I don't know. I feel like it was before they were presented. Maybe not.
I don't know. I didn't really catch it. But Ricochet does hit Bowens in the head with scissors, then Spirit Gun for the win. He celebrates on the stage. Briscoe comes out from behind him with the stretcher in tow because they're going to have a stretcher match. He sends it into Ricochet, beats him up, puts him on the stretcher, goes for a dive, or he goes up to the top for a dive, but Ricochet runs off.
Yeah, it was a quick win for Ricochet. There was some good action in there. I kind of like Bowen's style. Again, I thought Gunn looked kind of dumb. I guess, in a way, you have to end Bowen's winning streak, right? Because this is not like they're making him Goldberg or something.
I don't think
so. You got to get that out of the way.
And I think it's okay here because it protects him with the cheap win.
He lost by like one of the ultimate heel shenanigans using scissors.
And I think it's smart to just to sow dissension with him and Gunn, because I don't think he needs the scissoring thing, and Daddy Ass is not helping Bowens anymore.
And losing via scissors is pretty poetic too.
Yeah,
for Bowens,
I agree.
Right?
I think it's eventually going to become an albatross for him.
Yeah.
So I do think we need to separate him completely from all the acclaimed shtick, which is Billy Gunn.
The aftermath was not really a brawl. It was kind of just a quick reminder that it's a stretcher match, right? So it didn't annoy me as much as sometimes, like, oh, here we go with the post-match brawl.
And it shows more chicken heel Ricochet, which is fine.
Right, which he's amazing.
Yeah. I really like his work, which is still crazy to me.
I know.
But it was a solid match. Like, nothing special, but Bowens looked good, I thought.
Yeah, he did.
And it's a cheap win for Ricochet, so Bowens can kind of afford the loss, which is fine.
Yes.
So I think that works. Then we get a Stokely FTR promo. Stokely talks about getting an email for the Double or Nothing contract, but they're men who care about the tradition of pro wrestling, so they want to look Garcia and Nigel in the eyes, and everyone will have the honor of watching Nigel sign his last pro wrestling contract. This was short, but I really think Stokely kills it. Like, I really like this a lot.
Like, we could have used Adobe, but I like it because it fits, right? They're old school wrestling tag team, and they're refusing to sign a contract in a new school way.
I like
right?
that. Yeah,
we could have signed a PDF,
and
whatever,
in a way that's
no.
like heelish, because like we want to see you sign your last contract, and everyone can watch your last thing. You know what I mean?
Too.
And he like coughed and insulted Matt Menard, which I thought was really funny. And I just love he's such a slime ball, and like
he is.
Like kind of in a similar vein to Ricochet. I think it works really well. He's like the conniving, not like corporate manager, but like manager who's getting stuff done behind the scenes to help out the heel team, and so I think it really works. And I was of the opinion FTR didn't need a manager, and they would be fine without him, I think. But
I think they're better.
He's made the act so much better.
I agree.
I don't think this kind of promo is as good without him. Without him, like getting the email from AEW and organizing this segment, or organizing their suspensions are gone, or like cutting promos against commentary for them, or being the diversion for them against Nigel and Garcia the other week, right? Like FTR are both good promos in their own right, I think, and I don't think they need to be chicken heels, but that's why I think Stokely being a chicken heel is great, because then he's got them to back him up. And I just think, I don't know, Stokely, whatever he's been doing has been really working for me. Like, I really like what he's added to FTR.
Me too.
I think it's really entertaining, and I think it makes them a little better.
I think it makes FTR fit, because they're kind of, to me at least, they're the like, we can go in the ring. We're the best in-ring tag team there is. They don't need to trifle with speaking and handling all that.
If they don't want to, right?
Their thing is we're in-ring guys. And yes, we could talk if we wanted to, but that's not our gimmick. Mm-hmm. We're like the best in-ring tag team, and we're going to let somebody else handle all of the details for us, right?
Yeah, I really like that.
And yeah, Stokely is like a weasel and can say annoying things because he has those guys backing him up.
It really reminds me of Heenan. Like, him and Callis are both kind of aspects of Heenan, which I really like. And so yeah, I really like this. Just for a short bit, I thought Stokely really kills it.
I'm loving FTR lately.
Mm-hmm. And I like this a lot more than the women's face-to-face, which is moderated by Renee. They get chairs. Ospreay and Hangman don't get chairs.
This, unfortunately for them, like, to contrast it with the men's, similar, like, there's no way they're coming off looking good.
I will not think about this segment at the end of the year.
At least they put distance between it on the same show. Like, I get
Absolutely.
that. But yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I just mean, like, I'm not going to think about this segment at the end of the year, unlike
it's because Monet has no range. She's just the way she is all the time.
Well, and if you compare her delivery, I mean, obviously she's a heel, but compare what she says and how she says it to Hangman or even Ospreay.
Any depth to her character? Did we learn anything? Did we connect with her at all? No.
That's, I think, a big part of it. I mean, we should be saying this after, but like, yeah, there's a lot less to come away from, right? And especially with the stakes. But we'll circle back around. Hayter talks about, or Hayter comes out first, and Monet, and Hayter talks about looking past her is a great way to get yourself hurt. She's the underdog. She's not as perfect and hasn't had as easy as Monet. She said it's about more than a title shot. It's about not being forgotten, which is a great sentiment, but like, elaborate on that, because I feel like she could have talked a lot more about, because even Renee brings up her injury. Like,
right.
I think that would have been a great point to elaborate on, is to talk about how her injury took her out for a while, and she was afraid about being forgotten because she was out of action for over a year, and she only came back on the pre-show, which maybe not everybody saw.
Yes,
and she's been struggling to get back into the main event scene for the last few months, so she's worried about being forgotten and lost in the shuffle.
This tournament's awesome because it gave her that opportunity,
right? And so, like, I didn't think about it in the moment, but just thinking about it now, because like, if it were Ospreay or Hangman, I feel like that's the elaboration we'd be getting, is that like, because I think her not being forgotten is actually a great sentiment if it's elaborated on.
So then it begs the question, are Ospreay and Hangman just better, or are they putting more time and effort into writing for the men?
I think it's a bit of both.
I do too.
I think it's both, because I think Hayter's great, and I really like her, and I think Monet is great, just hasn't been as much lately, but like just in the grand scope of her career, has been great. And I just think Ospreay especially is definitely better. Hangman I think is better because he's one of my favorite characters in wrestling. He's just incredibly complex and interesting and nuanced. And then I think both of them are better performers than men, but I definitely think there's probably more time being put into there too. And maybe that's also because they're better. Like Ospreay's clearly going to be the franchise player, and Hangman has been the main character. So I also think it's not unwarranted to put more effort into them.
Yeah.
But I do think they should have not put the lack of effort into the women. You know what I mean? Like I think it makes more sense for there to be more effort in the men's comparatively, but just on a base level, there should be more effort in the women's feud.
And I just find you use the word Monet lacks any nuance, right? I never lose. I just am super confident.
I'm the best. I have 3 belts.
And that's it.
Right. Like, and so Monet talks about she's the revolution. She's the Beyonce of women's wrestling. Like, it's just the braggadocious, cocky, typical stuff that she always says, right? She's not a person. She's a revolution, whatever. Her reality is she's going all in and become the women's world champion. She bragged about her title run.
Sorry, you said it wrong. You said women's. She is incapable of saying the word women, and I don't understand. She's not the only one.
Yeah. No, I was saying
everything is women's.
Who else says that? I know Hikaru says women's.
I hear it in WWE a ton when people refer to the women's championship.
I know. I swear I have too, but I can't.
I can't think of a specific example. I know it happens.
It definitely has. It probably her back when she was there. But
no, recently. I feel like NXT, there's people that do it.
No, I know, but I swear too, but I know she's probably done it there too. She's had the title for however long. She's undefeated, yada, yada, yada. Hayter mentioned she lost one of her belts, so that makes Monet mad. And it's Monet's destiny to lose everything. What a sick burn.
Mm-hmm.
How is that like a babyface versus babyface final has more heat than
I
this?
know. It's wild.
Like this is a perfect dynamic. And like I said, if we elaborate on Hayter especially, that's like you could really touch on the fact that she doesn't want to be forgotten. She wants to be the face of the division again, and wants to be important. Not like just the best, but like important, right? And then you could have Monet, like not in the same way she always does, but brag about being important because she's been marquee since she's been here, right? Like literally they had that big business show just to bring her here, right? You could make this whole song and dance about how she's big and she's always been important, and she could like chew in a Hater for being forgotten when she was gone, and like really let it sink in that I have 3 belts, I'm important, I'm gonna beat you, and you're gonna be left in the dust. Like there's so much more you could do with this to add heat to it, and I think like if you follow that headcanon, it'd be so much more interesting because I want to be interested in this. But to talk about the segment, like they brawled a bit, it's not really worth talking about. I'm just not overly interested in this. Like Hayter sounded good.
I thought she sounded better than best she has in quite a while here.
But I wasn't overly interested in what she had to say because, like I said, it lacks that depth that we're talking about now, which I think if we had that, it would be so much more.
And it's almost like Monet is not reacting to what you say. She's just saying her stuff. That literally could be anything said to her. She's just going to say what she says.
That's basically what it was, right? Like Hayter said her shtick, and then
it's like you didn't even say. It was just like want.
Monet's like, I'm a revolution, right? And that's another thing I think with Ospreay and Hangman is that they are taking in the things that each other is saying, and they are relating it to each other. And like Hangman's like, oh, it's professional for you, but it's personal for me. And then like Ospreay chimes back in with something related to that
person that's not listening. She's just waiting for her chance to say what she's got. She's got her next thing in the chamber. And she's firing it. She's
regardless. Too busy programming her next argument. It's like a debate where you don't.
And so then Hayter's stuff just ends up. It sounds good, and then it's
like throwing it against the wall,
fades away.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's a good point, which honestly, I didn't think about, but when you point it out, it becomes obvious, right? And so I didn't overly have an interest in this. And like Hayter, another thing that didn't particularly work for me in the moment was that like I feel like she hits hard and she's a powerhouse, so like the scrappy underdog thing didn't work for me. But if we're doing like the being forgotten thing, that's a different kind of underdog thing, which I like. But we're not communicating that. And I wasn't a fan of Monet here. I think the constant exposure to her weird speaking tone and patterns is getting to me now.
I know. I point it out all the time, right? And like this is not how humans speak.
And it's just like it's nagging at me now. I don't feel she offered anything new to say. and the attack was also expected.
Yeah.
This didn't offer a lot for me.
I agree.
Whereas I think the opening segment offered everything.
Yep. Stark contrast, to say the least.
Toni Storm made her entrance to kind of exchange a look or whatever, because she's on commentary for the main event. Which I was like, what's the main event? Then I looked on Instagram, I was like, oh.
So yeah, what has Julia Hart done to earn a main event? And are we just in this palatial studio, are we just missing something here? Because I
think she sucks.
I feel like this is, to me, reminiscent of the redacted era in WWE, where somebody is like, this person is awesome, and I'm just going to shove them down your throat.
They just don't do it as egregiously as redacted, obviously, but it's definitely still there. I feel like that's also a bit of something with Garcia.
I feel like they grabbed an NXT mid-carder and are trying to push her through us like they took Carmen Petrovic and went, nope,
gave her
she's
a spooky
amazing.
Gimmick. Yeah,
right. And I'm not buying it, but anyways.
Yeah. And so I remember the blurb on Instagram was because Sky Blue is in that 4-way that Mina won, since it's Hart's her mentor somehow.
Right.
Hart wants to. It's one of those
Hart
like
at 22 is mentoring people.
It just doesn't work.
Whatever
but like it's loosely tied to last week. I mean loosely in the loosest sense of the term.
Yeah. I was like, they're best friends, and you had to explain what.
Remember, like she was House of Black adjacent.
Oh, she's 24. Sorry, my mistake.
It's the go home for Double or Nothing. We have the women's title challenger in a pointless match against Julia Hart, and it's somehow the last match on the show. This is a misstep for a go home. I think the Anarchy in the Arena brawl
for sure it is
good, because I like that trope. I think even though the segment didn't entirely hit, the Hater Monet segment is what you should do.
Yeah.
Regardless of the execution, in principle, it's what I think they should have done.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, the opening segment is exactly what you should have done. This is not.
No.
Because like there is no build or no heat to Mina and Storm. Like I pray,
and 100% who's winning.
That's part of the issues, because there's never a build with Bane. If there's a build, they could have convinced me Bane had a chance because she was undefeated and because she's awesome. And honestly, with Mina, you could do the same thing, because maybe you want to distract the Rocketeer. And even this week, like she's doing her dance in the entrance, she's really over.
She is. She's not losing to Julia Hart ahead of her title match, right?
Yeah. So and I mean, like, there's no doubt she's losing to Storm. I meant
that. Yes, that's for sure. But she's not losing this match, which makes me care less about this.
Yeah. Right. And so there's some build to her and Storm would be nice, but like,
no,
it's just not there. And I made a note. I giggle every time Julia Hart's theme says "the heart always wins."
Mm-hmm. You're like, I hope she goes on a losing streak and keeps that theme.
Like if we do a Kurt Hawkins gimmick, and like with that theme song would be so funny to me. But like it's just like it's so stupid, because that's not a thing.
No.
The house always wins is like,
a thing.
That's a thing people say, because blackjack and whatever, or like what is it, roulette or whatever.
It's just casinos in general. Casinos, like basically, right? No matter how lucky one person is in a session or whatever,
house always
wins, or casinos wouldn't exist, right?
Yeah. So that's a thing.
Yeah,
the heart it's not like it's a trope in like card games. The heart's lucky or something. Like
they're just like, we can't rework this theme,
so we're gonna dub over that one part. And because I think people did like her theme, I don't care personally.
No, me either.
But anyways, it's so stupid to me. It makes me giggle. Toni Storm is on commentary, as I mentioned. Horrible, like old school from Julia Hart. Not
really bad.
It's like I could hit you
in the
harder.
moment. I was like, so Undertaker's 300 pounds and hitting it, and she's like 100 pounds and just.
And also not like, I don't think Undertaker hits it particularly hard either.
No,
but like
yeah.
I could easily hit you harder in the back, and I don't do things. There's like Mina has her in like a wrist clutch. She goes top rope, kind of a similar move, but she like drops the knee on her shoulder.
Looked way better.
It was cool. I feel like she has done something like that before, but I think it's cool. Running shotgun knee from Mina, followed by rolling elbow. Hart gets Mina, and like she does like Tajiri's tarantula in the ropes, which also looks iffy, because I don't think she's bent over the ropes far enough, and I don't think she's long enough to because she's like barely hanging onto the legs like that. It did not work. She comes back into the ring, gets caught with the spinning back fist from Mina. Hart misses the diamond moonsault, lands on her feet, I don't know if she pretends, but she tweaks her knee. Mina hits a dropkick to the knee, goes for figure four. Hart counters the small package for two. Rolling elbow, spinning back fist from Mina. Hart rolls Mina up at the finish, but Mina counters into a seatbelt pin with like her leg hooked over.
I thought that was kind of a cool pin.
It was cool for the win. I think roll-up finish is lame here, but whatever.
There was some weak crucifix out of the corner too, remember?
Yeah, that
Mina's,
did not work.
I don't know whose fault it was, but didn't look great.
Mina had her in the figure four because I guess there was a brawl after. Sky Blue came out. Storm makes the save.
They're best friends.
There's a bit of there was stuff after. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, we've talked about it. It was underwhelming main event. No way Shirakawa loses. Not much chance the action's great since Hart's responsible for half of it. So I guess Mina keeps momentum going, but
yeah, like
this should have been positioned somewhere earlier.
This is the middle of the show match. Like I said, the trios match,
the usual women's spot,
absolutely shouldn't be invented.
Yeah,
I think Mina's good, and I think she has a special charisma. She's really over. People were dancing during her entrance. Like, people really like her, which is a little odd now because I guess she's kind of working pseudo heel. It seems like with the post match stuff.
I feel like they're ramping that up for the,
which makes sense because Storm's like one of the most popular things in the company, like it or not.
Right.
Not. But it is just a little odd for Mina. The build's 100% lackluster, though, and the match I did not care about here.
Me too.
Then the Bucks are leaving the arena. They say Joe's a liar because they're leaving, and he did not get them like he said he would.
But he does!
Say his name and he appears.
Joe.
Still Joe. They leave, but Joe and Hobbs attack them. Joe batters them with a trash can. They brawl around backstage. As they're going through backstage, Death Riders, Shibata, Willow, and Omega join the fight. It eventually breaks out in the arena. They brawl around the stage. Various weapons are in play. Trash can, kendo stick. Swerve has the chains. He's dragging Nick to the ring. Brawl gets around ringside. Omega chokes Nick on the apron with said chain. Shibata puts a trash can on Yuta and beats the crap out of him with a kendo stick, Steve Blackman style.
Yeah.
EVP triggered Omega in the ring. Omega counters the TK driver's turret, joins him. We get House Call and V-Trigger in tandem to the Bucks. Joe's choking on Mox in the barricade, but Gabe Kidd resurfaces and hits Mox, hits Joe with the briefcase again. Tables gets hit ringside. Nick throws a trash can at Omega's head, and the Bucks put Swerve and Omega through the tables with some big old dives. And that's our go home.
I already said it, right? Like, yeah, cool stuff happened here, but I don't...
It was cool, and I thought the big spots at the end were like...
But we're going to get a match full of big spots. You know what I mean? And I just feel like this is, again, why are they touching so much on this show 3 times ahead of the match?
The Death Riders are probably losing this one.
But cool stuff, fun for the crowd, I guess, and a big table spots to end it. But again, the post-match brawling stuff.
They were playing the Dynamite theme as they were brawling at the end here. Right. I hope Moxley and the Death Riders come out to Wild Thing one more time.
And let it run.
And just let it run for a good 20 minutes there. It's not the same if you fight to Battle Cry or Big Pressure or the Death Rider theme or Bucks theme. Actually, you could do it with the Bucks theme because they did it last year. But no, it's not the same thing. It's either Wild Thing or nothing.
Right.
All right. Wild Thing or no thing. And again, Gabe Kidd showed up here, but he's not in the match. So I'm really curious.
That's the only intrigue I have, right? Is what's he up to?
Commentary call him a mercenary, so that's a bit of a direction, but like it's still like for who and for why.
He should just do like a APA thing where he's just for hire.
Like what Brian Keith is,
whoever
but
needs
like not
backup.
suck.
Yeah, exactly.
Like a not sucky bounty hunter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Overall, I didn't think it was an amazing go-home show. It started off super strong, as we mentioned a bunch of times. Love the opening segment, love the trios match. Hurt Syndicate stuff, main event, and show-ending brawl didn't do a lot for me. I went with a B- again this week. Again, it wasn't a chore to watch, and the first, 45, 50 minutes was so good that it keeps that grade fairly high. So I went B-.
That's fair. I went with a B because I feel like the first half of the show was
enough
so
to keep
strong,
it up, yeah.
And like I feel like it keeps it afloat from a B-. Because I think the main event was pretty lackluster. The Hurt Syndicate segment was not great because Dustin. I was gonna say it was fine, but then I remembered how much I hated it.
And the women's face-to-face was just okay.
Kind of useless. And the brawl at the end was a good end, but not
little things were good. I like the Okada thing, the FTR thing were fun, but
oh yeah, I really liked FTR, but you know.
It was a small part.
Yeah.
Okay, that's going to wrap up our Dynamite review. We're going to move into trivia, where I think you're going to challenge me with some trivia that I'm going to probably not do well at, but that's part of the fun.
Kind of a point on this one, at least.
It is. We're going to call it Off the Top of His Head. Take it away, sir. It's your turn.
Okay, this one
Should I keep track?
It's a lot shorter. I guess you can. It's not as much.
How many questions?
I only have 8 because it's not as in-depth
robust
as the other one. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I could have done it like guess which one's real, but then.
So what is the challenge here? What am I doing?
It's the same thing as the 24/7 one, where one of these is fake each time.
Oh, okay.
Except now it's with random women.
You could have just done like 20. Was this a real team or not?
Oh, I could have done that, honestly.
Yeah.
That's whatever. It's too late now. These are things I should have considered even half an hour ago.
Play along with me.
Yeah, okay. So which of the following teams did not hold the WWE Women's Tag Team titles?
It's gonna be so hard.
Okay, I tried to start it a little less horrible.
Okay, go. Did not hold the titles.
Not hold the titles. So Sasha Banks and Bayley, Nia Jax and Baszler, Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose, or Io Sky and Dakota Kai. And they're all pretty good sounding, right?
Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke.
Yeah,
let's go.
They were a team for Bix. Remember at the first Mania after the pandemic, Mandy slipped in her entrance because that was the one where they did the rain delay. Remember them wearing ponchos on commentary?
I'm good at this. That 100%.
Okay. Next, who did not hold the women's tag titles? Sarah Logan and Lacey Evans, Asuka and Kairi Sane, Baszler and Rousey, or the Iconics?
Sarah Logan and Lacey Evans?
Yeah.
I was like, who the heck's Lacey Evans for a minute?
You
know who I was thinking?
Sassy Southern Belle.
I know, now I remember, but you know who I immediately went to was, who was the one in TNA?
Savannah Evans?
No.
The one with Tasha Steelz?
No.
Ooh, then. Like recent?
No, not at all recent.
Heather Wild?
No.
Because she kind of looks like...
Was there a Lacey over there? Like back in the day? Like back with beautiful people? Maybe.
Oh, no. Because wasn't it...
Lacey Von Erich.
Oh, Lacey Von Erich.
And I was like, she was in WWE?
No, I don't think so.
2 for 2. Gonna run the table on this.
Yeah, we'll see.
I won't.
Okay, this one's a good one. Which of the following teams did not hold the WWE Women's Tag Team titles? Charlotte Flair and Asuka, Aaliyah and Raquel Rodriguez, Naomi and Carmella, or Natalya and Tamina?
Okay, so I think you're trying to get me to take Aaliyah, but I'm pretty sure she did.
She did. I will eliminate that one just because it's funny.
Sorry, who are the other three again? Charlotte
and Asuka, Naomi and Carmella, and Natalya and Tamina.
I'll go the one with Carmella.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I might be a genius, guys. Yeah, I don't like saying guys. I feel like a YouTuber.
Yeah. I mean,
I made myself cringe a little bit there. My apologies.
Okay, number 4. Which one's fake? Who did not hold the women's tag titles? We got Nikki ASH and Rhea Ripley. That was Nikki Cross's superhero, if you forget.
I do remember that.
Okay. Nia Jax and Tamina, Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville, or the Rave Girls. We'll call them that.
I'm immediately like, let me talk it out. I'm immediately like, did the Rave Girls hold it? Because I feel like you're going, they're an actual team and always were. But did they hold it?
Yeah.
I'm going to say they didn't.
No, it was Nia Jax and Tamina did not.
Really? I was
Rave
confident.
Girls have held both versions of the tag titles, actually. Also the NXT ones.
I'm hoping to pass. I need one more here to pass.
Okay. Which of the following teams did not hold the WWE Women's Tag Team titles? We got Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss, Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, Asuka and Alexa Bliss, or Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan. You can see I went with repeat people here.
Okay, so obviously Liv and Rodriguez did. Gonzalez, whatever her current name is.
Because don't they hold it right now?
Right now, right?
Yeah.
See? I know things. Sorry, give me the other 3 then.
Morgan and Sarah Logan from Riot Squad, Asuka and Alexa Bliss, or Bliss and Nikki Cross.
I'll say Asuka and Bliss.
No, it's Riot Squad. They didn't
really Riot
Riot, yeah.
Damn it. Okay.
3
and 2 so far.
Yeah. Who did not hold the women's tag team titles? Becky Lynch and Lita, Bianca Belair and Jazz, Queen Zelina Vega and Carmella, or Chelsea Green and Piper Niven? FK Doudrop, just for fun.
Did they? I'm going to take Green and Doudrop.
No.
Damn it.
Bianca Belair and Jazz, because I just made that up because the Lita won.
I was like, oh, that makes sense. Jazz probably came back. They put her with another black person, and they probably won because there's no one in the division.
Played the race card.
You did.
Smart.
You got me.
Returning Legends and race all in one.
All in one.
There,
like,
right?
I was the most confident in that
one. See? I'm playing the game. Okay, number 7. Now, for the last 2, I changed it because I ran out of options for the ones. These ones are for the NXT versions of the belts.
I need to get one of these to pass.
So, who did not hold the NXT women's tag team titles? Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez, Fallon Henley and Kiana James, Gigi Dolan and JC Jane, or Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson?
Who was the first one?
Jade and Perez. Obviously.
I'm going to say Lash and Jakara.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought you were trying to mislead me there because, again, they're an actual tag team
All of these
and have
ones
had a lot of
were
success.
actual teams at one point. It's just they never got the belts.
Okay, I passed, so this is all great.
Perez did get them, and then remember there's the infamous skateboard incident.
Yes, there was.
Yeah. Technically, Perez is also listed as a solo title holder because she held them by herself, and then they vacated them.
That's dumb.
It is. Final. Who did not hold the NXT Women's Tag Titles again? It's Ember Moon and Shotzi, Blair Davenport and Lyra, Zoe Stark and Io Shirai, or Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell.
I pretty much feel like none of them. Sorry, one more time.
Ember Moon, aka Athena, and Shotzi, Blair Davenport and Lyra, Zoe Stark and Io Shirai, and then Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell.
Davenport?
Yeah.
Yes.
I was hoping Zoe Stark and Io would throw you off because they did hold them, but it just seems weird now.
5 out of 8. I don't know how you did at home, but I crushed that by my standards, not by his standards. But that was kind of fun.
Yeah,
that was hard. I figured it would be.
Yeah, because that division's
a mess.
Poo storm.
Pretty much anything. If you wrestled together for one match, you could be a champion.
I will say I thought there would be more options.
Yeah,
not as many as I expected, but still amusing. Because
I think you could have just go in the future. You can just go tag team or nah.
I could honestly do that in general.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of random teams that like LOD 2006.
Yeah.
With Animal and Heidenreich.
I would remember
we all
that.
know that happened. But
yeah, it's legendary.
The random stuff. Or like one of the best ones from that era is Kenzo Suzuki and Rene Dupree.
Oh wow, I wouldn't remember
or
that.
Charlie Haas and Rico.
Don't ruin them all now.
Yeah.
I might remember one or two of those.
Yeah.
All right, we'll switch back to talking about the week that was in wrestling. Some Raw, some NXT. Don't know if we have any SmackDown stuff. That's up to you. We'll get there. It's Highspots and Restholds. I watched all of Raw and NXT. You may have seen highlights and things and the way you consume things.
I saw smidgets of NXT.
All right, good. So I know you saw Miles Bourne promo. You were there for that, I think.
Yes, and I think I even just saw clips of that too.
Good. That must mean it's getting some attention, which I thought it was good. So not to spoil my thoughts, but starting out with Raw because it happened first. We have the show starting out with a Logan Paul in-ring promo. Basically, he's going to beat Jay at main event. He won.
Is that this weekend?
I don't know.
Is that tomorrow?
Maybe.
I should know this. I'm gonna look it up.
He won a singles title before Jay. He's knocked Jay out 3 times already, and he'll do it again. Gunther comes out. He's basically annoyed that Logan Paul thinks he can beat him
tomorrow.
He's annoyed that Paul thinks he can beat the man that beat Gunther, which means that Paul basically thinks he can beat Gunther. Gunther says Paul could help him with digital media self-promotion. Paul says Gunther understands business, and then Gunther says the world title's personal to him. If Paul takes it from Jey Uso, Gunther will take it personally. He goes on to say that at least Pat McAfee had some heart. Gunther doesn't see that in Paul. When the bell rings, Gunther will eat him alive. Gunther walks away. Jey Uso sneaks in to super kick Paul. There's your babyface champion, but I get it. He's been sucker punched by.
I couldn't help but look at his super kick ever since you were pointing out
how weak it is.
And I think I noticed it the same too. But I didn't slow it down or anything. But I remember seeing the clip of this, and I couldn't help but watch the super kick.
And it's one of the 3 moves he does, and it's not good. And he does it 100 times a day.
No.
But anyways,
especially when we're watching the Bucks do it every week as well. Mm-hmm. I think that's kind of an issue. It's like
Shelton Benjamin,
I think is
many others.
The Bucks are like Roman. They're a good one.
Adam Cole, if we see him.
Adam Cole. Honestly, I think on a regular basis, Adam Cole is probably my favorite super kick because Shelton is pretty atrocious.
Who's your favorite thrust kick?
Shelton. I don't know. I think the difference is only when they want to use super kick. It's like an angle slam versus Olympic slam. I think you want to call it Olympic slam when it's anyone else, and then angle slam it's right. But no, Jay's it's so bad, especially when we have not even to be an AEW guy, but all the guys in AEW who are doing it better. Or if you look at the old footage of Shawn Michaels,
yes,
if you want to look at that, or I've probably seen Seth Rollins throw better ones. I mean, Seth Rollins is usually pretty tame super kick, to be fair. But even then, I'd rather watch him throw it than Jay most of the time. I thought Usos generally threw decent ones, but I feel like Jay is just
some of them might be. I don't know.
Him when he's you're analyzing him by himself, and it's just that magnifying glass on him. It's not good.
I didn't think Paul was good here. It feels like when he's really scripted and trying to be a heel, it kind of falls flat. But when he just is natural, he's so hateable, right? That just let him go out and talk.
He has that natural dislikability, right?
Yes. And Gunther always sounds good, but I'm not really sure how this helps the Paul Uso angle. And this is the go-home show, right, for main event? So
it just kind of telegraphs that this isn't the program worth focusing on. Because Paul's like, he's good, but I don't think he's quite world title challenger. And then Jay's not quite world title champion.
Logan Paul could win this. Maybe there's transitional. And I'm like, no, I don't. It doesn't feel like it.
Jay's dropping it to Rollins 100%. I think we're just giving Jay a bit of a run, and then I think Rollins has to get it because I think this is the run that Rollins is on warrants the belt, whereas Jay, I don't think anything he's ever done warrants this belt.
Well, in the story of this show, I'll get to it, is Rollins going around talking to everybody, going, whoever wins out of all of these combinations, like, I'm next, I'm coming, sort of thing.
I like that.
Roxanne officially signs with Raw. I just, like, it's about time. So will she stop being on NXT now that it's official, right?
Because I think her and Julia, then the whole signing thing is basically like, hey, they're officially up.
Gone now. Yeah. Jay Uso then runs into Paul Heyman backstage. Heyman tells him, because it's Braun and Uso in the main event, and it's non-title. Braun's not after the title. He's trying to slow Uso's momentum. And he says whether it's Jay, Paul, or Gunther, they are all short-term because the long-term plan for the heavyweight title is Seth freaking Rollins. And again, that's what this episode is about. Rollins claiming to be the long-term plan, while several others worry about who has it in the short term. He's just kind of like, doesn't matter, it's coming to me anyways, which does feel
Rollins is like your backbone, I think, right? And I think you could build someone up to take him out.
I think it could be Braun turning on him. Wade, like, give him a long run.
Yeah, I could see that.
And then Braun gets tired of being in the shadow.
I really want them to get a tag team in this group because I think that could get eyes on the belts. Although last time we had the tag titles in a faction, it didn't exactly work out. So maybe not. But like, I mean, I feel like they could tease a Theory turn. So maybe not A-Town Down Under, but they're the only team I could think of that might fit this group. And Theory was once. There was a short-term period where Theory was a disciple under the Messiah until he went back to NXT.
Right.
Because remember in the pandemic, Andrade got like injured or sick before Mania, and he was supposed to team with Garza against Street Profits, so they brought in Theory. So it was randomly at Mania, Street Profits defending against Theory and Garza for the first time, and then Theory ended up with them for a bit. He got booted out. It was that weird period where Theory's on Raw, but it was before he was in The Way. So it was because I feel like The Way was when he was like, remember the dumb teenage son kind of character, and that was like, I think the first time where he was actually something. And so it was even before that, which I thought was weird. But he does have a bit of history with Rollins, I guess. And I just think it'd be kind of an interesting.
We'll talk about Theory in this episode. It was an interesting note
because they are. I saw he was getting chants, right?
He was.
Yeah.
So Rollins would have interactions throughout the night. He talks to Logan Paul later about how Paul will be facing a weakened Uso after Braun's match. And then he says if Paul gets by Uso and Gunther, Rollins will be waiting for him. And then even later, Rollins interrupts Gunther, but Gunther tells Rollins that he himself is in fact the future of WWE. Rollins tells him that if Gunther does win the title, he will make himself a target. And Gunther is like, I can't wait. I think there's a chance he's turning face.
Gunther
is on his way.
That's weird. I don't like that.
He's interacting and not backing down from multiple heels on this show. He's not interacting with the babyface champion at all. So I'm confused because he's coming off of the feud with
he just doesn't seem
McAfee where he was clearly a heel.
And the Uso feud where he literally beat Jimmy bloody, right?
Yes.
Gunther, like, just unless you really tweak his character, which you shouldn't, he doesn't feel like someone capable of turning face. And now I feel like we've always said that where it's like, Neville can't work heel, and then here's Pac, and he's awesome. You know what I mean? But I feel like that is a little different at the same time.
And if your plan is a long-term run with Rollins as a heel champ, maybe we need to start lining up some babyface challengers that are believable.
That's true, but I feel like also, with Gunther's a babyface, I feel like that also makes him prone to losing more.
Yeah.
Which,
he should.
I guess it happens eventually.
It's not believable.
But it does kind of take away the aura of Gunther, because that's his whole thing, is that like it's supposed to be a big deal when he loses.
It is.
And I feel like that kind of gets lost as a face, because most of the time they don't do that unless it's like Goldberg or Ryback or some other big bald guy. I don't know.
Balor and McDonough actually picked up a win, right, over AJ Styles and Penta. I thought
not a singles match, so Balor can win.
True. Really good tag match, actually. I thought the heels worked really well. They isolated each of the baby faces for a bit, giving the other like a good hot tag opportunity. I thought McDonough and Penta looked really great together, and McDonough's selling like he's just
McDonough's a really good seller.
That destroyer he took on the floor.
I saw that, yeah.
He took that amazing.
I love McDonough.
Went 17 minutes. Balor won with the coup de grace to Penta after good old El Grande Americano showed up, headbutted Penta with the loaded mask, right? So really good, allowed Judgment Day to actually get a win, and then furthered the issues of Penta and Americano. So it all made sense, right? And I think I was texting you while you were at work that this is 2 weeks in a row where commentary have still found a way to not
shift blame off of
right,
the insults.
They're not making fun of JD's head size. I think it was something like along the lines of like, what was it like? You know, everyone talks about his big head, but there's no denying his skill in the ring, like stuff like that. Like other people are saying it, we're just reporting it.
We think he's great.
Yeah, but you're saying it, so you're basically saying it still. Annoys me. Becky Lynch interrupts an EO interview to point out that EO has never beaten her. Sure. Roxanne Perez qualifies for Money in the Bank, defeats Natalya, Becky Lynch in a triple threat match. I thought another very good match. Went 14 minutes. At one point, Perez hit a pop rocks to Natalya, who in turn hit a German suplex to Lynch at the same time. Wasn't perfect, but it was still a pretty cool spot. Lynch hit a manhandle slam to Natalya. Lyra shows up to pull Lynch off the cover. Lynch and Lyra brawl up the ramp, leaving Perez to hit the pop rocks to Natalya, which is why Natalya's there to take the pin, I assume. Again, good TV triple threat, and getting Roxanne in the Money in the Bank is the right move. I think she's looked awesome since being on main roster. Like, I just keep remembering, like, good match, good match, good match. The finish allowed Lyra and Lynch to continue what they're doing, and I like Lyra's a babyface, and a lot of times the babyfaces are idiots, but she's actually willing to come down and like do what Lynch does, right? Like, you're gonna be an idiot to me, I'm gonna pull you off a cover and cost you a match. Like, I think that is better than the babyface doing nothing, right? Sure. And just being dumb. So I like those. She's fighting fire with fire, and I like that decision. Sami Zayn goes into the locker room to talk with Jey Uso. Zayn says he'll take care of Rollins and Breakker on Saturday, and if they play the numbers game with Jey, Zayn has his back. They shake hands. Really feels like they're setting Sami up for a heel turn, and I kind of hope they don't.
I hope they don't too, because I mean, he's been a good heel, but he's just so fantastic in that.
Yeah. Baby
just
face.
Ultimate underdog baby
I
face.
wonder if he cost Punk the match at main event somehow, and that's where we go. I don't know.
I hope
really feels. I hope it's just like a misleading thing.
I hope it's a red herring and like we get someone else to turn. Obviously not Punk, because that would be stupid too.
Sheamus beat Grayson Waller in a pretty physical 11-minute match. To be honest, Waller got more offense than I expected, and yes, as you pointed out,
Theory was getting babyface.
The crowd was chanting for Austin Theory in this. Like, you could hear it.
Yeah.
Waller at one point wants to walk away from the match because obviously Sheamus is beating the hell out of him. Theory sort of holds him up for a bit, tells him not to. That allows Sheamus to grab Waller, hit the 10 beats as Theory's kind of laughing, and I think Waller notices it. So again, and then a brogue kick for the win for Sheamus. Solid match, keeps Sheamus's momentum going. Furthers the issues with Waller and Theory, but it's kind of like Fatal Influence on NXT. They're teasing a breakup of this team, but who are we supposed to sympathize with and root for? Like, the crowd already likes Theory, but I just think that's because...
I think they were teasing it last year on SmackDown with Waller.
It's been on all over NXT.
Like, a lot of accidental shots.
Yeah.
And, like, Waller being kind of a dick, but then they kind of reverted back to being fine, so I don't know if Theory exactly warrants it. I think if the fans are supporting him, obviously just go with that, because then you already have that problem kind of solved. And
Waller's a really good heel. Like, I don't know if he works as a babyface that much.
I don't think he does.
He should be a tag team with Logan Paul. That's what they should.
Him and Logan Paul seem perfect.
So yeah, Theory's already getting the babyface chance. So it's just right now, like, if this is a split, like, nobody's got redeeming qualities, really. Anyways.
Not other than, like, existing popularity.
Whole bunch of basketball stuff goes on. And I am a huge basketball fan, like, no sarcasm there. And I still didn't pay much attention to this. It's video games and WWE merch.
Tyrese Halliburton's in the DLC I saw.
However, so it's Tyrese Halliburton and Jalen Brunson, and it's worked. WWE couldn't have planned it better because they are facing each other in the Eastern Conference Finals right now. So it's kind of worked out as good as they could have hoped using these two. And those are the two, like, leaders of each.
I'm sure they'll both be in there or something.
So yeah, it didn't keep my interest. Rhea Ripley qualified for Money in the Bank by winning a triple threat. Well, at least it was a triple threat for a few minutes. Beat Kairi Sane and Zoe Stark. We didn't mention it in the news, but gruesome is the word.
Horrible. Just like, I don't even... it was bad.
So she goes for the missile drop kick.
But I think Kairi was too far.
Sane was too far away, so I think Stark tried to land on her feet.
And her leg just bent sideways.
Her leg said,
Oh, I saw she's expected to be out for the rest of the year, so that really sucks for her. And I was saying she's probably done.
I can't see them. If it were the redacted area, she's already gone.
She doesn't get used a ton.
She's
not the most charismatic. I think in ring she's really talented.
I do too.
But she's not very interesting.
And the age double standard with women will rear its ugly head.
How old is she? Let's take a look.
I'm guessing she's late 30s.
I agree. 31. Oh, okay.
Oh, younger
Never
than I
mind.
thought.
She's actually pretty good then.
But yes,
but I still feel like they might get.
She now is going to have that like injury prone tag on her, and that's not good.
I just saw the clip. Speaking of injury prone, from when Tegan Knox got injured again in the Mae Young.
Yes.
Oh my, that was so bad. That's so sad. You know who the ref was in the Mae Young Classic? Aubrey Edwards.
Aubrey.
I was like, is that Aubrey? And then they literally said referee Aubrey Edwards. I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. But Zoe feels, and I feel like we say this all the time, but she seems like a TNA person. Because like she's good in the ring, so she could lend some in-ring credibility to them. And then like, well, Robert Stone's been doing stuff over there with Tessa and Alicia Fox. So he could take her in too, because I do like her. I think she's interesting.
So
her finisher's sick.
Boots up by Ripley on the insane elbow and a riptide shortly after. I think like Ripley and Sane did a good job of like making this a one-on-one, because clearly they had to audible. I assume Zoe was there to take the pin too.
Kind of lame you brought in Kyrie, to like they did one of those on an Instagram. They did one of those walking to the arena videos with her, so they spoiled her return because she's been gone for a bit, and then she had to eat a pin, which I don't maybe think... I could have seen that being the plan all along, because I don't think
Zoe Stark in there. Come on.
I mean, I don't think they really
care.
I
saw somewhere trying to say that...
I don't think they particularly care about Kyrie either.
That they think there's a moment where Rhea's backed up in the corner waiting for them to scrape Stark off the mat or whatever, and it's like the moment they tell you you're going over, like that Stark was supposed to win. Okay.
That's like when I swear Cody said for one of the Mania matches, he like didn't find out he was going to win until the day of or whatever, or find out he was going to win or lose. I think it was lose, maybe for the 39 one. Anyways, I was like, that's bullshit. Like, especially if he's talking about the one where he wins. But I think for the one where he loses, that was probably the plan, because they wanted the 1,000 days, right? Like,
that's right.
There's no shot that like
the rest of us knew
it was that much of an audible.
Another Rusev promo, exactly the same style, this time directed at Tozawa. And this made me think of like contrasting how Penta and Rusev were presented coming in, right?
I think because they actually see something in Penta, and no offense, I think there's a lot more upside to him.
Penta won matches against higher profile opponents, got involved in some near top tier stars, right? Dom, Ray, and Breaker, and connected with the crowd by coming out, having a cool look, a cool entrance. Rusev gets copy and pasted vignettes against like Otis and Tozawa. So
against the jobber group.
I think it feels indicative of the ceiling.
I think
they know what they have. He's been there. They've done this.
That's what we were saying, right? Is I don't think his ceiling's as high as people thought.
And he was a better act with Lana in the beginning. I
agree. I think like even though it's a little outdated, the foreign brute thing was a lot more. I don't know. I feel like it was a little more palatable. And for Penta too, I think the thing really saving him is his marketability, his merchandise potential. Because they will. As
you taught me.
Well, yeah, the figures they can get out of him are going to be crazy.
Everything.
The mask, they're probably already selling. Like the amount of things you can. I mean, his merch already looked really sick. Remember? Yes. So, I think for them, he's worth the investment because they're going to get that back, right? And I think even Phoenix to a degree, but I think Phoenix is already getting lost because I think he took those pin to Solo in that triple threat. I think the loss at Mania we can't really count because he wasn't supposed to.
No,
be there.
That was audible.
But he's taken a couple more losses than Penta has already. I think. Or at least it feels like more frequently. Anyways, I feel like the ceiling on Phoenix is definitely lower because I don't think he's as charismatic.
Penta is the more WWE guy.
Just because he's got that charisma and character and that personality.
Little less high risk too.
Yeah, that too, right? So I do think that's... I could see... I think we'll definitely get a tag title run with them because I feel like you have to capitalize on that. Like a big Lucha tag team, how could they not? But I think once that's said and done, Penta's going up and Phoenix will kind of... I feel like he'll be kind of in purgatory like Ricochet was.
Until they're tired of Penta, and then they'll make him a tag team. Balor introduces Roxanne to the rest of Judgment Day.
I saw this. I was confused.
So Dom is worried about what Liv will think. Raquel is clearly not happy at all, and she's going to let Liv know, because I guess Liv doesn't watch the show when she's away.
Imagine we just redo the Liv Morgan angle, but with Roxanne Perez.
Perez has...
and she just tries to screw with Liv Morgan now.
Perez has nuggets for Dom and apples for Carlito. I thought Balor, and I could be wrong, I thought Balor said something about her not being an official member, but like
he did.
She can watch Liv and Raquel's back.
Yeah, I think that's like his way to weasel her in. And then now
she's not actually in, she's going to hang out with us.
I like it because he's kind of playing the Dom with the new members thing, which Dom was suggesting, and then now it's like someone he's got under his wing already, so it benefits him. You know what I mean?
Dom could take her, and yeah, we could just run back the same story.
I think it'd be really funny if we just did the exact same thing just for no reason.
At least for Perez, she's part of a group that's on TV every week, right?
That's what I said with McDonough for a while, but then it's like, is that even worth anything now?
I think they see more in Perez.
Well, her head's regular.
But she's tiny like him, but they don't mind that as much for the women.
I think they actually like it more for the women, that they don't love it as much with the men.
Main event was Breakker and Jey Uso. Heyman gets involved. Uso chases him. Rollins hits Uso. Braun loses by DQ after 15 minutes. Solid match.
Lame.
But I preferred a couple other matches, the triple threat and the tag match opener. Finish kind of protects everybody, I guess, but doesn't add much to the match itself. Hot crowd helped it out. Heels beat down Uso after Zayn comes out. Crowd chants for Punk. He shows up too. Braun and Zayn brawl, and so do Punk and Rollins. Just a basic way, again, to get things going ahead of the main event match. It's just like a kind of a holding pattern show again, because we're getting to a non-PLE.
And then we got Money in the Bank, I guess, is probably the next thingy.
And then Paul sneaks in, Logan Paul, that is, not Paul Heyman, to sucker punch Jey Uso for the 4th time.
That's the build.
Basically guaranteeing he won't win at main event, right? NXT, opening triple threat was quite enjoyable. Javon, Evans, Sean Legacy, Ashante Theodonis.
Was there any point to this, or is it just for a match?
I think later on they say Saints is giving a shot to whoever wins this. I think it's in my notes later. So Legacy and Evans, they really had an awesome little stretch in the Battle Royal. So I think that and Legacy, man, the dude's impressive. Ricky Saints joins commentary, so I think that sort of lets you know what this is leading to. Ashante tricks a woman in the crowd during his entrance to kiss him on the lips. So he does the thing, I hope it was a plant or else it's kind of harassment, where he wants a kiss on the cheek and then he turns his head at the last second. Mm-hmm. He barely hits a corkscrew splash to Evans on the floor. We get a sudden Legacy standing Spanish fly for a near fall. The crowd is kind of into him. Adonis almost steals a pin after an Evans flurry to Legacy. Legacy with the 450 to break up an Adonis pinfall that looked pretty good. Huge Evans frog splash, but Legacy breaks up that pin too. Paige shows up to attack Saints at commentary. Evans, and I thought was stupid babyface move, dives onto them, and that leaves Legacy alone to hit his finisher, which I sent you a video of. Did you watch it?
I did not see it yet.
It's on your, check it right now. It's called because you can tell me what it's called on there too.
Oh yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I said it looks like a fireman's carry into
shambles.
Shambles, right? Fireman's carry into Stormbreaker.
Like the twisting neck breaker kind of thing.
You tell me. I look pretty cool.
I'm looking on it. It's like torture rack into a.
Oh, it's torture rack. Sorry.
Okay, interesting.
Right.
It's not quite as cool as Stormbreaker, but it's kind of. I like it.
Fun triple threat. Very little of this involved all three. It was one of those where it's like we'll take turns, then they'll take. You know what I mean? Still pretty fun though. Pleasantly surprised to see Legacy win. I just assumed Evans was going to get the shot, but kind of makes sense because Saints isn't losing yet. No one expects Legacy to win if he does get the title shot, right? So again, Evans looks dumb. He kind of gave up the match to save Ricky Saints for some reason.
Yeah,
I don't get it.
That's weird.
Legacy impressive.
Dumb babyface.
Crowd likes him. We need to see more of him. Just put him on NXT. Get him out of Evolve or wherever he is right now. Jordan Grace training montage. She talks about herself, Julia and Vicaire being the top free agents of 2024. She and Vicaire are similar. Sacrificed everything to get to WWE. Grace will win at Battleground. Just a solid, straightforward segment ahead of their match. No new ground here, but solid stuff, I guess. Lola Vice has issues with Fatal Influence backstage because she's sort of been sucking up to Lola, that is, to Vicaire a little bit. And Jane and Fallon bicker some more. Jane suggests Henley should face Vice to show that Vice is behind them in line for a title shot. Vice is fine with the match. So you got JC Jane sort of volunteering Henley for a match. Because again, there's problems between Fatal Influence, and that is the right name, right?
Yeah.
You're even not sure at sometimes.
Oh, it's just, it doesn't even matter.
Did you see Trick rapping?
Minimally, not to the point where I have a distinguished opinion.
I did not enjoy it.
I didn't think you would. I meant to mention it before the show. I was like, you get a Joe Hendry concert and Trick Williams rapping.
It was Average Joe was the thing.
I did see that bit.
He can't keep up with the track playing underneath him at one point.
People were saying that it should be his new theme. I was like,
no,
I doubt it.
He does recover, but I didn't think it was good. It's not something I want on a wrestling show. And then they cut to Hendry's backstage, tuning his guitar or whatever. So they don't put these segments back to back. They actually leave Hendry for the main event segment. First, we get a Briggs interview. He misses Inamura, and the match tonight is dedicated to him. And that didn't go well because Spears beats Briggs in about 6 minutes after the rest of the culling obviously get involved. It's Izzy Dame ends up kicking Briggs out on the floor. Spears gets an inside cradle back in the ring for the win. Culling continued the beatdown after the match, and Hank and Tank come down to chase the heels away. Match was nothing really. The aftermatch doesn't set up anything interesting either.
It's that trios match at Battleground.
I feel like maybe Briggs turns on the other two, joins Culling or something. I don't know.
I can see that. If
the guy who went to focus on his singles career,
he's going to join a group.
Yeah, exactly. First a team, then a group.
If he joins them, that'd be crazy because like I said, I put him in the Culling on 2K since I don't have Nico Vance.
Kalani Jordan wants reassurance that she gets a shot at Ruka's title if she beats Zarya. Zarya jumps in, answers for Ruka, basically says Ruka's a woman of her word, so yes, Kalani will get that title. Again, at this point, I'm like, this seems to further be setting up that Zarya is going to get that challenge, right? But no.
100%.
I mean, not yet. Anyways.
No, not yet, but I feel like you have to go there.
And I think it's one of those instances where we always say, like, predictable doesn't mean bad either, right? So it kind of makes sense.
It'll hopefully make Zarya better since
they're dragging it out.
Playing second fiddle.
At first, I was like, it hasn't been enough time with them as a team, but they've sort of dragged it out, right? So they've been together a while now. Why did I say Hale is a pirate? Oh, because she's wearing an eye patch because member Paxley snapped and tried to extract her eyeball. Which is how I always say it.
Eye for an eye match. We could bring it back.
Yeah.
We've only done one.
So she tries to sympathize with Paxley because Hale has also lost everyone, which is fair. And then Jada shows up to attack Hale out of nowhere, pretends to care about Paxley for a minute before just calling her stupid and walking away, which I thought was funny. I don't love Parker being involved with like mid-carders, but the top of the division's kind of busy, and at least it gives Parker something to do, and she should beat these people, I would think.
I would hope so.
Me too. OTM beat Chase U Kids in about 3 minutes. Chase U did get in some offense.
Kill Dixon, my God, with the half tights. I don't know why people think that's such... It's so bad.
And Little Finley is a small dude.
He is very thin.
Slight.
Very thin.
OTM overpowers them, hit their finisher, which I never remember what it is, so it can't be that memorable. You were there.
Oh, it's like the suplex and like the...
It doesn't look that great.
It does. I don't like it much.
Too short to be much. OTM get momentum. Chase U Kids should be motivated to go back to school, I guess. Miles Bourne, Obafemi talk in the ring. Miles is alone, and Oba doesn't know if that means he's brave or stupid. Bourne's dream was winning the Battle Royal and beating Paige, but when he faces Oba, his dreams will die. Bourne says he may be alone, but the No Quarter Catch crew and all the kids that don't fit in support him. He's making a statement. Oba won't be the first to underestimate him. Doctors, nurses, opponents did, and he proved them all wrong. He might be hard of hearing, but they are going to hear the 1, 2, 3 loud and clear, which I thought was cool.
I did really like a lot of what he said. Obviously sounds whatever, but
it's pretty good though. Like once you know his issue, like it's not a problem.
No.
Bourne leaves, and the LFG winner, who I don't even know who he is.
Jasper Troy.
Sure, he shows up and attacks Oba. Bourne picks up the title and hands it to Oba. So yeah, I really like that they're seeing what Bourne can do, right? And he sounded good. They kept the interaction brief, and I don't care about the LFG guy. It's sort of like...
Because the reward for that was like old NXT where you get a contract, so this is him, like, he's guaranteed to get on TV, so this is their...
They might have even shown them signing the two winners, the woman and man.
And Undertaker got that token belt that looks stupid.
It didn't meet the notable threshold for me, so I didn't even mention it. Saints and Paige are in Ava's office. Oh, I wrote Starks here. Starks wants a match.
It just sounds... I don't like Ricky Saints. I don't know why.
Paige just wants to keep tormenting Saints, basically. Saints put the title on the line. Ava is mad, but agrees to the match even before Legacy gets his title shot. Seems odd and rushed. It kind of feels like we're in a hurry to get Paige to put people over on his... Is the draft soon?
Yeah, I think so. He has to be going up.
Is
like Starks not on Battleground then? Because when is Battleground? It's not this weekend, is it?
Are they moving Legacy, Sean Legacy to that? I don't know.
I don't know. That's what I'm asking. Because 2025. Let's see, May 25th. Oh, so it's also the Sunday.
Oh wow.
Oh shoot.
Got a lot of wrestling.
I'm not previewing it.
No, we don't have to. NXT Spotlight, Tony D. He tried to understand why Stax did this, but he can't. They've known each other since they were kids, loyalty, etc. He basically recaps the story, says he'll break Stax's face at Battleground. I just don't care. I have no interest in this at all. So yeah, that's that. Lola Vice beat Fallon Henley in 11 minutes. It was kind of back and forth with Henley and Jane seemingly on the same page to start. And then you get JC Jane on the apron. Lola shoves Henley into Jane and then hits her spinning back fist off of that for the win. Obviously, Jane and Henley are arguing after the match as Vice is dancing in the ring. Pretty average match. I think the crowd would agree with me. Gets Vice a win, I guess, since she hasn't been doing much, and Fatal Influence take a step closer to ending their team, as if anyone could possibly care. I imagine maybe Henley gets drafted, or both drafted to separate shows.
I guess.
What else are they going to do in NXT?
They should get released. I think Henley's a keeper.
Mm-hmm.
The other two...
Other two? Where the heck's Nyx?
I don't know. Also, I saw some video
not gonna murder her
of a bunch of NXT ladies.
With my words.
Like they were posting some thing. But anyways, I think I heard Rizzo speak in a regular voice. It was weird.
Well, you're trying to tell me that thick Italian accent is not her regular?
I think so. I'm pretty sure.
Stephanie Vaquer sits down with Kelly Kincaid. She said she failed her first tryout in 2018, struggled, slept on kitchen floors. NXT's a dream come true. She was born to be a WWE star. She puts over Jordan Grace, but says she will get burned when she gets close to Vaquer's hell. So she spoke really, really deliberately because I think she's still learning English, right? Did a fine job. She's amazing in ring already, so as long as the English keeps improving, she's going to be a star for them for sure. Dark State vignette. They take turns talking about each other. Like each one talks about another one, but they don't really say anything of like
it's all the buzzwords,
yes.
Right? Like the wild card thing.
You don't know anything new about any of them. His leadership, blah blah blah, and his like I don't know, man.
I saw people like being happy like that. They're finally explaining who they are, whatever.
No,
it's so just generic. And,
it is.
It's so.
I don't feel like I learned anything. A lot of talking, exactly. But nothing was said, is what I said.
Yeah.
Kalani Jordan defeated Zarya. I wasn't expecting it in 10 minutes with a roll-up. So I think like watching Io, Julia, Roxanne, Vaquer, and Jordan Grace every week on main roster and NXT doesn't help some of the mid-card women in comparison, you know what I mean?
Especially someone like Kalani.
Because I feel like all those women have been killing it. And then it's like these two are fine, but they're not.
I will say this: the last time we saw Lonnie and Ruka was when we were at Heatwave in person. That match was actually pretty
good.
Decent.
We did like that.
I'm willing to like. I probably won't watch it because I don't care that much. But like, I'd keep an open mind with this one just because last time it didn't suck.
It's developmental. They're allowed to not be finished products yet.
Yeah.
So, Lonnie kicks Zarya into Ruka on the floor. Ruka gets on the apron to yell at Kalani. Kalani moves. Zarya spears Ruka. Kalani rolls up Zarya to earn the title shot. So the match was fine. Kalani got the majority of it, and it's, again, the issues with Zarya and Ruka. Zarya has to snap at some point, right? Because she could be a heel.
That's why I think the finish kind of works. It's kind of paying that off, and then it keeps Ruka busy with the title title change. I guess it gets... Has Zarya lost a solo match yet?
Before this one? I don't think so.
So then that also kind of kills that, so that you don't have to like do like...
Goldberg her.
Yeah. Right? Because there's always that... You always got to break that threshold eventually.
Yep. Joe Hendry sings to end the show. He has two guitars with him. I wonder why. Like literally in the moment, I'm like, gee, I wonder why he has two guitars. Because I don't think you can be smashing people with the real one.
And could do the fake ones play decent?
I don't think it would.
So then there's
right.
You can see the issue.
He mocks Trick's rap from earlier before he begins playing. The song makes fun of Trick's short title reign, being Mello's sidekick. He plays footage of his own face over Loomis's body. Because remember when Trick and Mello were in
I did see that, yeah. They were in the Honda house or whatever.
Right.
The stupid Loomis shit.
And then the bottom line was, whoop that Trick, everybody else said Mello's bitch. Or says Mello's bitch or whatever. That was the recurring refrain. Makes Trick angry. He comes out, calls Hendry Average Joe. Mike shot to Joe, spinning boot, and then guitar shot to Trick's knee, right? He went for the Trick knee, got hit with the guitar. And then a standing ovation, and Hendry holds the title high. I don't know, man. I didn't think this was good, and I don't look forward to the match.
I don't think it'll be great. Just it seems like maybe Trick wins now if Hendry's.
Yeah,
like
I don't know. Like that's going to be weird. At some point in this relationship, you're going to do it right where the other company has your title.
I mean, if in terms of talent exchange, Trick's probably one of the biggest people you can send to TNA.
Yep.
So
I don't know.
I guess
I just don't think the match will be very good, and I don't enjoy these comedic singing stuff. A couple of Hendry's were really funny, I'm not going to lie, but this one I didn't think was one of the stronger ones. Okay. Did you have anything from SmackDown? I didn't even hear it. So I'm not going to do any music or anything. I'll make a note of when we're talking about this, but we are now going to shift into our Double or Nothing predictions right about now. So let's make a note of that in my notes. And we're going to do certainty score if you haven't been with us. How that works is, for example, this show has 9 matches on it.
We think.
Not only do we pick the winner of each match, but we apply a certainty score of 1 to 9, 9 being most certain, so that although we just keep picking every match of shows right.
The last 2 we have had.
And one of them was like 12 matches.
No, not the last 2, because we didn't, not Mania, but.
No. Bookending that.
It was Dynasty and.
Right.
Backlash, which we didn't watch.
So, you go ahead and take charge of this, and I'll tell you my certainty scores, and hopefully we have some different... I think we're going to have at least one different winner, which will help this process a lot.
Yeah, I agree. And this is one we will for sure watch, because it's AEW.
Oh, yeah, we will. I'll pay for this one.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Not that I don't pay for everything.
Oh, no, we buy things
I am independently wealthy.
Yeah. Okay. First one I have is Toni Storm versus Mina for the women's world title. They barely built this within 2 weeks, so Mina doesn't really stand a chance. So I'm going to take Storm. I'm putting it at a 7.
Me too.
Okay, that's
same thing. There's no way Shirakawa's winning. They're not taking the title off. Like, they see her as the face of the company to a certain degree. At least that division. Some would say company.
Definitely the division.
So I'm saying Storm with 7 as well.
Okay, great. Good start.
I know.
Then we got Undisputed Era against Don Callis family.
I'm sorry, who?
Undisputed Era.
Okay. The Paragon.
Yeah, I feel like there's more of an upside for the Callis boys winning. This one seems to come about randomly, but I couldn't be happy with the lineup because Undisputed Era
should be an awesome match.
I mean, it's one of my favorite groups of all time.
Could
if
be an
not
opener.
My favorite group, I'd put this or probably Okada and Speedball.
Or Ricochet Briscoe even. There's
true.
Options.
There are a lot of options, yes. Even Anarchy in the Arena, maybe if it's not main eventing.
True. And you get it away from the main event too.
Right. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's possible.
But this one's great because I mean, if I'm going to pick 3 guys from the Callis family, it's these guys because it's Alexander, Takeshita, and Fletcher. Sweet. That's in the talent in here is insane. So I'm really, really excited for this. Like, I don't even care where it came from.
There's no build or anything. Doesn't matter to me.
No, but I'm going to say because Fletcher's being established as a singles guy, we've kind of been putting Takeshita and Alexander as a team. I feel like Undisputed Era can take a hit here. So I'm going to take the Callis boys at a 4.
I took Callis family as well. I feel like just going because there's no build, I kind of default to like
who needs the win more
and just where your standing is.
I agree.
You're kind of a big deal faction on the main show. You're kind of a not such a big deal on the second show. Callis family wins. I went with 3 confidence points.
Okay. Then we got Okada versus Speedball for the Continental title. I love Speedball, but I'm of the opinion Okada does not lose till All In to the proclaimed unification match. So there's not much team behind a title change here. I took Okada at an 8.
Certainty score of 8 for me as well. Okada is winning. Again, no build to this. Just Okada basically looking it down his nose at Bailey on Dynamite this week.
Yeah.
He's keeping the title. Match could be awesome.
Yeah. Hurt Syndicate versus Sons of Texas. Screw Dustin Rhodes. I'm taking Hurt Syndicate in a 9.
I also took Hurt Syndicate in a 9.
Hurt Syndicate's a lock for a while, I feel like.
They just added MJF. They're not
starting... That was what I said.
They're not starting any issues within those 3 yet. So, yeah, I don't think there's any chance. Obviously, my certainty score is 9 as well.
Yep. Okay, then we got FTR versus Nigel McGuinness and Daniel Garcia. I think it'd be foolish to have FTR lose in their first major match, especially to a non-team involving a semi-wrestler, we'll call him.
Agreed.
And Nigel. I say they win FTR, and maybe we get post-match, maybe Copeland's shows up here. I'm not sure what the plan with Copeland is, but FTR win. I'm taking them at a 5.
I also took FTR at a 6. I just think you don't have a lot of tag teams that you're really building, and you've got, in my opinion, a hot one right now in FTR. Having them lose to a non-wrestler and Garcia.
That's true. It's also Garcia.
Unless Edge cost them or something, right? I guess that's possible, but I don't think so. That's yet. So I'll take FTR, and 6 was my score.
Okay. Next, we have Ricochet and Mark Briscoe in a stretcher match. I love Briscoe, but I don't think he needs the win. I think there's more. It's worth more to establish heel Ricochet more, and because he's lost on the last 2 pay-per-views. He lost to Swerve, and then he came up short on that 3-way with Omega and Speedball. So I say we get him a pay-per-view win, get some momentum rolling for him. I think he's doing great work, and he deserves a quality win. So I'm going to take Ricochet at a 6.
I have Ricochet with a certainty score of 4. Kind of the same thing. Losses do not hurt Briscoe at this point.
I agree. That's part of my thing.
Ricochet is on a roll right now, getting him some wins so he can lose to more important people later, I think, right? Build up his credibility now, and Briscoe's perfect in that role. Another match that could be awesome.
Briscoe killed it last time.
He
with Fletcher,
did.
Right?
That match was amazing. So I'm Ricochet with 4.
Okay. Then we got Hayter versus Mercedes Moné in the women's Owen Hart finals. I think it should be Hayter because I think her run's underwhelmed and she really deserves a main event program. But it'd be face on face with Storm, even though they have history. I just don't think we'd turn Hayter heel. So I feel like Moné is the more likely route. I don't think it's impossible we get her another title, which I don't think is necessary, but I think it's possible. I could go either way, but I feel like it leads towards Moné. So I'm going to take her at a 2.
I took Moné with 5. I'm kind of in like the previous Charlotte Flair mode of Moné doesn't lose at this point, right? And I don't feel like they've heated up Hayter to the point where this is me just putting this on, but Moné's not going to want to lose to her. Like, I feel like Moné has some say or whatever. Probably
yeah,
doesn't,
that's fair.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm confident that it's Moné.
Mm-hmm. Okay, next we have Anarchy in the Arena, which is Omega, the Ops, Willow, and Swerve against Death Riders and the Bucks.
Mm-hmm.
So given that the heel squad got the last laugh on Dynamite, Mox also beat Joe in the cage match the week before, I think this will be the first major instance where the team AEW, so to speak, get their shots back on Death Riders, right?
Yeah.
Heading in all in season, and I'm interested to see where Gabe Kidd plays in, which would make you think, oh, maybe he'll help the Death Riders and they win, right? But I've seen speculation. I think I kind of agree. We could see Eddie Kingston come back because Gabe Kidd's the one who injured him, so he could come neutralize Gabe Kidd. Also cost Moxley because they're like rivals / boys, and AEW people win. So I'm gonna take the faces at a 3.
Or if they're doing Kidd as like a gun for hire, then maybe the faces, made him a better offer. I'm taking the baby faces here too. I have a certainty score of 2. I same thing. I think this is a way to get Moxley a loss and just sort of get that ball rolling. And yeah, Team AEW gets a win here. Who do you think takes the pin in this? Yuta. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I have a certainty score of 2.
Okay, and finally we have Hangman versus Ospreay in the men's Owen Hart final.
And you gave your theory earlier.
Yeah, pretty much. But I've been saying this for weeks on end, but it's one of the hardest matches to predict on the show. Definitely one of the hardest in recent memory. And like we discussed at length how I think there's a good argument either way. Because I'm a firm believer of the fact that I think Ospreay's destined to carry AEW at some point and be the guy.
He will.
But like I said before, I don't think that's a story that warrants telling immediately. I think that's something that could easily be held out to next year, given we're going to be back in London for a bigger show.
Yeah.
Basically, the WrestleMania, right? As great as it would be for him to have it for Forbidden Door now, I think it doesn't need to happen there because we have Wembley coming back next year. I think Hangman, because he's the main character, I think his journey for the last year and a half has been super captivating to watch, and this would be an amazing redemption. He also fits the Texas theme for All In, right? I think you do a big entrance of him riding in on a horse with his old theme song.
Texas
his real theme song. I mean, that'd be more fun. Ultimately, for me, it comes down to like what I said. Ospreay's moment is not time sensitive. I feel like
I agree.
Hangman's story heading into this, it's been about him losing himself to revenge and obsession, taking his eye off the ball for the last year or so, and like becoming a maniac. And I think his redemption is a story that needs to be told now.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's just a better story. I don't think Ospreay's story would be bad. I just think it's a better one for Hangman.
Yep.
He's just come back in the full as a babyface. And I think he needs to ride in and take out Moxley. I think we're in good hands either way, but I'm taking Hangman at a 1. Because it really could go either way, which I think is fun. Because it's a match with huge stakes, and I don't know.
I don't disagree with anything you've said about the time-sensitive part. I think that's all very, very true. But I'm still taking Ospreay because I just think, like, you are maybe telling the better story, and it's a much nicer ending for everything. But I'm not sure they're on the same page as you are.
I think that's fair.
And I'm not even saying that yours isn't a better idea. I just think it's going to be Ospreay. But again, we
always thought it was going to be Darby, so here we are.
True. I'm a certainty score of 1
so it'll come down to that.
Because I don't really know. And it's going to,
I kind of like this, though. It makes this match big.
And even if we're wrong about something else, right, then it throws our points into play.
Honestly, I hope we get everything right until this. So then it's just like, we're riding on this one. Because it's honestly, I have no idea.
Pretty excited for the pay-per-view, not going to lie. It's going to be a long night, but should be.
Good thing I don't work, so we can actually just watch it on time.
And you're going to want to stay up for the main event, and I am too. It's going to be so late. Oh, well.
Because it's not a Moxley title
Exactly.
defense.
Mox were always like, fine, we can go to bed and just watch it tomorrow.
And then I already know what happens. But like this one, it's like, I have to see it live.
Be a late
it won't
night.
be as late, at least.
No,
if we're
probably not.
Watching on time.
True. That's true. Okay, I think that wraps up 253, right?
I believe so.
We hope everyone has a great week. Thanks for tuning in and listening to us. We'll be back down. I mean, there's a chance that we absolutely love Double or Nothing and want to talk about it. If not, we'll staple it. There's too many other shows to go through, right? So I don't know what we'll talk about next week. For sure, Double or Nothing.
Yeah,
probably
you
not
might
main
talk
event.
about Battleground.
I might talk about Battleground.
I won't talk about either the WWE.
I'll speed run probably most of those things other than Double or Nothing. We'll give some time and attention to. But anyways, all the other stuff we'll be back to cover. We hope to see you back here. And until then, take care.